Chapter 901. Crack. The instant he clashed with the Nine Darkness demonic lord, Zhao Feng felt an impassable chasm. A casual attack from the Nine Darkness demonic lord contained boundless mystic light yuan power that could shatter his fist, bloodline power, and wind lightning true yuan. Zhao Feng's mental energy, true yuan, and bloodline power were almost shattered. The scarlet wings of lightning behind his back, which he had condensed with his strongest fire of wind lightning, almost shattered, and he lost his mobility and balance. Zhao Feng's blood boiled as he retreated and immediately stabilized the scarlet wings of lightning. His choice was undoubtedly correct. The scarlet wings of lightning could greatly increase Zhao Feng's speed and mobility, and it could even strengthen his intent and wind lightning. The former, in particular, was extremely important in a battle. 1. The water of wind lightning and wood of wind lightning within Zhao Feng's body started to quickly change. Water feeds wood, and wood feeds fire. The fire of wind lightning was extremely condensed, and its explosive power was half a level higher than Zhao Feng's. Shua! The scarlet wings of lightning behind Zhao Feng's back lit up, and he retreated at a shocking speed. At this point in time, the explosive power of Zhao Feng's fire of wind lightning had already surpassed that of his previous life. Boom! At the same time, the Nine Darkness demonic lord chased after Zhao Feng with a demonic light. He didn't use any methods, and just used his mystic light yuan power to suppress Zhao Feng. Or maybe the Nine Darkness demonic lord didn't even bother to use any secret techniques. Or maybe he knew that the difference in strength was the only way to suppress Zhao Feng's cultivation. Scarlet Lightning Storm. The scarlet wings of lightning behind Zhao Feng's back expanded to 100 yards and formed a giant scarlet lightning storm. A ball of blazing light suddenly shot out from the center of the scarlet lightning storm, as if it was a brutal, blood-colored sun. Zhao Feng had a flash of inspiration and merged the Blood Devil Sun bloodline and the fire of wind lightning, two powers that had similar elements and explosive power, into one. Boom, boom, boom. In an instant, the crimson storm that was filled with thunder and lightning was dyed with a layer of exploding blood sun, and its power increased by several times. Insignificant skill. The demonic light from the Nine Darkness demonic lord was like a wave of light that swept across 1,000 miles and annihilated everything. Boom, boom, boom. The pitch-black light wave was like a world-destroying demonic light, engulfing and covering all existences. At that moment, Zhao Feng felt as if the entire world had fallen into darkness. He felt as if he was a mortal fighting against a saint god. All the power in his body froze. He couldn't even bring out 50% of his power. Crack, crack, crack. The bloody sunlight and the crimson thunderstorm were like pieces of paper, unable to withstand a single blow from the unparalleled demonic light that could crush everything. Wow! Zhao Feng's body shook violently, and a trace of blood trickled down from the corner of his mouth. The scarlet lightning wings on his back shrank to 100 to 200 feet, and they flapped at a high frequency. Zhao Feng was mentally prepared to retreat. This is the combat strength of a holy lord. Even though Zhao Feng was mentally prepared, he was still stunned. He had suffered some internal injuries in this clash, and this was under the fact that he was prepared and retreated. If he had fought head-on, he would have been severely injured at the very least. Interesting, but the stronger you are, the longer you will suffer. The Nine Darkness demonic lord gave a wicked smile. Mystic Light Realm sacred lords were usually in seclusion and didn't care about the outside world. More often than not, when they attacked, they would swiftly suppress everything in their path. This was the power that stood at the top of the pyramid in the Great Gone Lord dynasty. However, the Nine Darkness demonic lord realized that his opponent this time wasn't as weak as before, and he had the ability to struggle. However, the more this was the case, the more interesting he felt that he could play with him. Zhao Feng, run away. How can you fight head-on against a mystic light realm, sacred lord? Within the Duke's palace, Duke Nanfeng watched the short exchange between the two and was slightly anxious. Zhao Feng's strength was indeed stronger than expected. His physical body and soul were both extremely condensed. This was what allowed him to fight head-on against a mystic light realm. If it was a normal emperor, or even a peak emperor, they would be courting death if they dared to do this. Thank you for your advice, Duke. Zhao Feng was already injured after the short exchange, and his heart was as clear as a mirror. In reality, the reason why he seemed so stupid was because he wanted to personally experience the power of a mystic light realm. Furthermore, fighting against a mystic light realm would stimulate his potential. You want to run? It won't be that easy. The Nine Darkness Demonic Lord released a pitch-black demonic light that pierced through several thousand miles of the limitless ocean and made heaven and earth fall into a world of darkness. In this world of darkness, all existences were suppressed. Not good. Zhao Feng's flying speed paused, even though he circulated the power of the wings of wind and lightning to the maximum. His heart went cold, and he knew that he had overestimated himself. If he hadn't overestimated himself and fought a mystic light realm Sacred Lord head-on, he wouldn't have been restricted by the Nine Darkness Demonic Lord's secret technique. At this moment in time, everything within several thousand miles fell into a world of darkness, and one could faintly see chaotic and dark things. Zhao Feng knew that this was the projection of the Nine Darkness Demonic Lord's little world. Due to the restrictions of physical space, normal little worlds would find it hard to merge into their own world, and they would be rejected by the laws. The stronger the little world was, the stronger the rejection would be. This was especially true for the Nine Darkness Demonic Lord, who used his little world to affect the outside world. Under the cover of the world of darkness, Zhao Feng's speed decreased dramatically, and he felt the power of loss. The Nine Darkness Demonic Lord's little world had its own laws, and his own power was strengthened while external power was restricted. For example, Zhao Feng's lightning wings spatial flash couldn't be used in this situation. Zhao Feng felt the power of his wings of wind and lightning decrease dramatically. Luckily, he still had his powerful sacred lightning body. The physical body was the most basic form of power, and it didn't need to rely on the laws of the outside world. Sacred lightning dominating body. Zhao Feng's body started to glow with golden lightning, and he released a never-before-seen wave of lightning. In order to deal with this danger, Zhao Feng used his life force to forcefully raise his sacred lightning body by half a level. He reached the peak 5th level for a short period of time, and he was even close to the 6th level. Boom! Wong! Chaotic waves of lightning surrounded Zhao Feng's body, and he forcefully pushed back the Nine Darkness Demonic Lord's little world projection. The power of this method that didn't care about life force was shocking. With Zhao Feng's current sacred lightning body, he could kill or cripple peak emperors with just one punch and severely injure unrivaled emperors. Rage of burning heaven, Zhao Feng exclaimed. His Blood Devil Sun bloodline also increased by half a level after burning his life force. Whoosh! In an instant, Zhao Feng's body released a wave of blood-colored flames that could burn heaven and earth, and it slowly melted away the darkness nearby. Good brat! Even the Nine Darkness Demonic Lord's expression changed slightly. Rumble! The power of his little world projection was mercilessly destroyed by Zhao Feng. This was especially true of Zhao Feng's area, where a massive gap had been torn open. Zhao Feng turned into a streak of blood-colored light and flashed with golden lightning. His wings of wind and lightning spread once more as he charged out of the world of darkness. Only if my sacred lightning body truly reaches the 5th level, or even the 6th level, will I be able to fight back against the Sacred Lord. Zhao Feng's current battle power was obtained by using his life force and origin. He didn't want to use too much of his life force, even if he had the chance to defeat the Nine Darkness Demonic Lord. This was because he would lose the potential to become stronger in the future. It won't be that easy. The Nine Darkness Demonic Lord snickered coldly and thrust out his palm. A black beam of light almost ignored the restrictions of space and shot toward Zhao Feng. Zhao Feng's heart went cold, and he felt as if his body and soul had been pierced through together. Not good. It's the ultimate technique of Nine Darkness Palace, the Nine Darkness Sacred Scroll. Duke Nanfeng chased after Zhao Feng out of the limitless ocean and felt the forbidden power of the Nine Darkness Demonic Lord's palm. Even an unrivaled martial monarch realm expert would be instantly killed by the palm. Whoosh! The blood-colored light around Zhao Feng shook, but it wasn't even able to last half a breath before being torn apart. The power of the Nine Darkness Demonic Lord's attack was only reduced by 20% to 30%. Sacred Lightning Protection. Zhao Feng's sacred lightning body, which was close to the 6th level, merged with the power of wind lightning. Wang, a layer of solid, ancient thunder pattern shield blocked the forbidden palm from Holy Abyss Scroll. Thunders roared and lights intertwined. Pung! Zhao Feng's figure was sent flying, and cracks appeared on the surface of the sacred lightning protection, making it almost explode. After all, Zhao Feng's sacred lightning body was close to the 6th level, and the sacred lightning protection's defense had reached the level of a sacred lord. Lightning wings, spatial flash. Zhao Feng borrowed the momentum to retreat, finally breaking out of the world of darkness and shadows affected by the laws of the world. The lightning wings on his back blossomed with dazzling light, and his speed was pushed to the limit. Suddenly, he transformed into an arc of lightning that shot through the void. Shua! It was a long and narrow arc of lightning that pierced through the void sea. In a flash, it traveled thousands of miles. What? This terrifying speed made the Nine Darkness Demonic Lord's expression change dramatically. Lightning wings, spatial flash. Zhao Feng once again used the fire of wind lightning after flying through the air and used it a second time. In just the blink of an eye, the Nine Darkness Demonic Lord was thrown 20 to 30,000 miles away by Zhao Feng. In this life, the power of Zhao Feng's wings of wind and lightning was even stronger than the wind lightning emperors in his previous life. Brat, let's see how long you can last with this secret technique. The Nine Darkness Demonic Lord released a bright light as he turned into a streak of black light and chased after Zhao Feng with a speed close to Zhao Feng's lightning wings spatial flash. Within the limitless ocean, an arc of lightning and a streak of black light flashed through the air one after the other, and they crossed over 10,000 miles each time. Zhao Feng, I hope that you can create a miracle this time as well. Duke Nanfeng couldn't even catch up to their speed. He wanted to join in the battle, but he couldn't. However, Duke Nanfeng had a question in his heart. Why didn't Zhao Feng team up with him? Otherwise, the battle power of two quasi-sacred lords and the cloud silkworm Saint Butterfly would have a higher chance of winning. Shua! In the limitless ocean, an arc of lightning turned into a youth with a pair of wings on his back. Who? Zhao Feng pulled away from the Nine Darkness Demonic Lord and quickly ate the 100 origin nectar and a green leaf of the green water sky lotus. The green leaf of the green water sky lotus was extremely effective in healing. The 100 origin nectar was used to replenish Zhao Feng's yuan qi and the life force that he had lost. Adding on the recovery ability of Zhao Feng's physical body and bloodline, his injuries from before were quickly healed. Zhao Feng didn't retreat as he looked at the approaching Nine Darkness Demonic Lord. He had a calm expression. It's not realistic for me to fight head-on against a mystic light realm sacred lord at my current level. Looks like I'll have to use other methods. Chapter 902. Within the void sea of fog. The scarlet lightning wind wings on the purple-haired youth's back were more than 100 meters long. They were like the scarlet wings of a flaming phoenix. As they fluttered, the tyrannical and high-temperature aura of the fire of wind lightning dispersed the mist within 1,000 miles. Phew! Zhao Feng's breathing gradually steadied, his expression solemn and calm. After merging with the fire of wind and lightning, the wings of wind and lightning were able to propel one's flight. The distance one could travel with a lightning wing spatial flash also increased, far surpassing Zhao Feng's expectations. At this moment, he had no time to think. He immediately healed his injuries and lost primordial qi. Zhao Feng's heart became heavy when he thought back to the short battle with the Nine Darkness Demonic Lord. If he hadn't burned his lifeblood essence and forcefully increased the level of his sacred lightning body and blood devil sun bloodline, he probably wouldn't have been able to escape with just injuries. In a head-on battle, I can't possibly be a match for a holy lord. Once I get close, I will be restricted by the 9 darkness demon lord's little world, and my life might even be in danger. This time, the 9 darkness demon lord was caught off guard, which was why I was able to break through the shackles of the little world. Zhao Feng heaved a long sigh. In the face of such a huge gap in strength, he could only resort to unconventional methods. At the same time, a pitch-black aurora in the distance, with the power of the demonic mystic light, crushed everything in its way and approached Zhao Feng's position like a thunderbolt. In fact, in terms of speed, Zhao Feng wasn't even comparable to a mystic light realm sacred lord. His advantage lay in the wings of wind and lightning. When he executed the lightning wings spatial flash, he would be able to cross space at an extreme speed. However, it wouldn't be that easy to get rid of mystic light realm sacred lord. Xiao, Junior, where do you think you're going? From within the pitch-black aurora, a pitch-black demonic mystic light power split off, disregarding everything, and instantly pierced through. An unparalleled demonic might descended, causing Zhao Feng's scarlet lightning wings to distort slightly. It was as if they were being suppressed, slowing down and slowing down. Lightning wings spatial flash. Zhao Feng didn't hesitate in the slightest and flew away once more, transforming into a bolt of lightning that vanished into the void. It's this secret technique again. Let's see how many times you can use it. The 9 darkness demonic lord coldly harumphed and suddenly raised his head. A dazzling arrow of light surrounded by lightning and fire flew over and accurately hit the 9 darkness demonic lord. Boom! 5,000 kilometers away, Zhao Feng put away the lock sky bow and said indifferently, "It's not very effective." This arrow not only contained the power of the scarlet lightning blood flame that he had just cultivated, but it also contained the power of the thunder tribulation that could destroy everything. After the counterattack, Zhao Feng immediately flew away. Junior, your actions will only make your death more painful. A black beam of light shot out from the storm of lightning and fire. The demonic light and sacred lord intent caused the air nearby to tremble. The ground below caved in under the pressure of a sacred lord's magnificent power, and a large crater formed. Many cultivators died without even knowing what happened. The nearby void god realm kings were unable to resist at all and fell to the ground. Those with lower cultivation immediately lost consciousness. It's a mystic light realm sacred lord that doesn't care about worldly matters. But the aura I sensed earlier was at most an unrivaled emperor. A pale-faced old man exclaimed. A scarlet arrow of lightning once again shot toward the 9 darkness demonic lord, causing a shocking explosion. Shameless Junior. The 9 darkness demonic lord roared in anger. Every time he got close to Zhao Feng, he would be ambushed like this. After reaching the level of sacred lord, one's soul and body would merge together, and one state of existence would surpass the mortal realm. Similar to the spiritual race, one's recovery speed was extremely strong, and they could ignore physical attacks, even when there was a huge difference in cultivation. However, Zhao Feng's perfect blood devil sun bloodline and the power of the god tribulation lightning countered the body of a sacred lord. When the 9 darkness demonic lord touched the flames of the perfect blood devil sun bloodline, the 9 darkness demonic lord's body would ignite. Unfortunately, the difference in cultivation was too big, and the flames of the blood devil sun bloodline were completely suppressed. Although the god tribulation lightning didn't do much damage, it couldn't be erased. After a long time, the 9 darkness demonic lord was slightly injured. What made the 9 darkness demonic lord helpless was that the direction of the scarlet arrow of lightning was extremely weird and locked onto him. If he tried to dodge it, he would increase the distance between him and Zhao Feng. The 9 darkness demonic lord had an ugly expression. He didn't expect that his first battle after coming out of seclusion in 100 years would be like this. He had even been injured by a junior at the middle stages of the void god realm. It's coming again. The Nine Darkness demonic lord had an enraged expression as he waved his hand and sent a surge of black mystic light, sacred power forward. Boom! The Nine Darkness demonic lord paused for a moment, and his expression became even grimmer. When the scarlet arrow of lightning clashed with his mystic light, demonic power, a portion of it passed through. His mystic light, sacred power flew into the air, and the remaining purple arrow of lightning shot toward his soul. Sii. Damn it, he hit a soul intent attack in the scarlet arrow of lightning. The Nine Darkness demonic lord's body shook as he roared. The mystic light's sacred power attack of a sacred lord also contained a soul intent attack, but it was completely destroyed by Zhao Feng's soul attack. Since he wasn't on guard, he received most of the damage from the light arrow soul attack. Most of the damage came from the destructive power of the thunder tribulation, which couldn't be erased. This junior soul attack is close to the level of a sacred lord. The Nine Darkness demonic lord was shocked and enraged. He could feel that the power of God tribulation lightning contained within this soul attack was even purer and stronger. The Nine Darkness demonic lord was hit by the soul attack of a sacred lord of the same rank, and the damage added together was greater than all the physical damage. Nine Darkness, sacred power. The Nine Darkness demonic lord's body suddenly released a beam of black light that revolved around him. His body instantly became taller, and black demonic flames shot out from his body. He was like a golden crow that radiated a black light. Heaven and earth changed colors, and the area within 1,000 miles was affected by the boundless demonic saint power. It was dyed with a layer of pitch-black demonic saint power, instantly turning it into night. Junior, you can't die with pride for forcing me to use Nine Darkness sacred power, the Nine Darkness demonic lord said coldly. The Nine Darkness sacred power was a profound secret technique from the Nine Darkness sacred scroll. It could increase the strength of mystic light's sacred power and intent for a short amount of time, and it could even control a certain amount of the laws of heaven and earth based on a user's cultivation. The Nine Darkness demonic lord used this secret technique just to increase his speed and chase after a middle-stage Void God Realm King. This was the reason why the Nine Darkness demonic lord only used this secret technique now. 10,000 miles away, Zhao Feng smiled as he watched the Nine Darkness demonic lord be hit by his soul attack. However, the Nine Darkness demonic lord suddenly released a shocking aura that made him feel the danger of death, and the depths of his god's spiritual eye started to throb. Not good. The Nine Darkness demonic lord is going to use his true strength. Zhao Feng's heart clenched as his bracer flashed with silver light, and his figure disappeared in a flash of silver. In the next instant, the Nine Darkness demonic lord appeared where Zhao Feng disappeared. He was like a demon from hell that covered heaven and earth, causing the air around him to tremble. There's no aura of lightning ahead. Did that junior use a secret technique earlier? The Nine Darkness demonic lord was stunned. However, he suddenly felt a faint disturbance of lightning true yuan behind him. Why is it behind me? This junior has many secrets. Nine Darkness Palace obviously wanted to kill Zhao Feng because of what Zhao Feng had obtained in the Divine Illusion Dimension. However, from the looks of it, Nine Darkness Palace's information wasn't complete. Greed flashed through the Nine Darkness demonic lord's eyes. That was close. Luckily, I used the misty spatial world to leave behind a mark when I was escaping. Zhao Feng still had some lingering fear in his heart as he withdrew his chaotic Tao of lightning. In reality, Zhao Feng could have used the misty spatial world to escape, and the Nine Darkness demonic lord wouldn't have been able to catch up. However, if he completely disappeared, the Nine Darkness demonic lord would definitely find the 10,000 Sacred Clan or the Zhao family. This was why Zhao Feng released a large amount of his fire of wind lightning just to lure the Nine Darkness demonic lord away and give him a direction to chase after him. However, this also revealed one of his hidden cards, which made the Nine Darkness demonic lord chase after him even more. Little thieving cat, I'll leave it to you. Zhao Feng took out the flying flaming chariot and let the little thieving cat drive it. I can only fight against the 9 darkness demonic lord head-on after my sacred lightning body breaks through to the 6th level. Zhao Feng had a plan. In the soul domain, even if he used powerful soul techniques and the power of God Tribulation Lightning, it wouldn't affect the battle much. Instead, after the power of God Tribulation Lightning was used up, it would recover very slowly, and he would be in danger. However, once his sacred lightning body broke through to the 6th level, he would have the ability to fight against the 9 darkness demonic lord head-on and resist the laws of a little world. With his powerful physical strength and the protection of sacred lightning, he could ignore most attacks from normal sacred lords. Furthermore, the blood-sucking effect of the perfect Blood Devil Sun bloodline would give him a certain amount of time to fight, and he could use it with the soul attacks of his God Eye. His sacred lightning body had improved in the clash just now, but it was still a bit away from the peak 5th level. Zhao Feng used some body strengthening and healing medicine and focused on cultivating. He used the fire of wind lightning to refine his sacred lightning body. On the other side, the 9 darkness demonic lord turned into a ball of demonic light after using the 9 darkness sacred power secret technique and chased after Zhao Feng with unparalleled speed. Zhao Feng was relying on the flying flaming chariot, so it was obviously not as fast as the lightning wing's spatial flash, so the distance between the two was quickly shortened. Junior died. The 9 darkness demonic lord was overjoyed when he saw that Zhao Feng wasn't using that secret technique to increase the distance between them. Looks like this brat can't use that secret technique anymore. A wicked light flashed through the 9 darkness demonic lord's eyes as his speed increased, and a powerful beam of 9 darkness demonic light shot out. He believed that with the increase of the 9 darkness sacred power, even Zhao Feng's monstrous physical defense wouldn't be able to block it. Boom! Zhao Feng's figure disappeared under the power of the demonic light sacred power. This is a fake body. The 9 darkness demonic lord's face went red as he became enraged. He had been played by a junior once again. He didn't expect Zhao Feng to have the ability to create fake bodies, and they were so realistic. The 9 darkness demonic lord even felt slightly regretful. He shouldn't have killed Zhao Feng right from the start. He had lost all his face now. The instant the fake body disappeared, the 9 darkness demonic lord sensed a faint disturbance of fire lightning True Yuan in another direction. Zhao Feng, I, the 9 darkness demonic lord, will destroy your body and burn your soul today. The 9 darkness demonic lord roared as black flames erupted from his body once again, and he flew away in a frenzy. Chapter 903. The instant the spiritual flesh, snow, jade, lotus root clone disappeared, Zhao Feng sensed something. Whoosh! A ball of black demonic light instantly shot over and turned everything in its path into the abyss of hell. The 9 darkness demonic lord focused his gaze and confirmed that it was Zhao Feng's main body sitting on the strange chariot. The black demonic flames around his body instantly rose. Brat, your death is here. What's the point of cultivating? The 9 darkness demonic lord roared as the demonic Tao, sacred power within his body surged. The magnificent power of the demonic Tao swept over like a tsunami. The flying flaming chariot was like a boat in the ocean, and it started to shake as if it could shatter at any moment. The little thieving cat also entered the misty spatial world. Looks like it's still not enough. Zhao Feng opened his eyes with disappointment. There was still a barrier between his sacred lightning body and the peak 5th level. Perhaps it was because his sacred lightning body had been improving too much recently and hadn't accumulated enough. Some of the resources that could increase one's state of existence and constitution had become much less effective if he continued to use them, unless he used resources of a higher level, such as the 100 Origins Sacred Honey. However, Zhao Feng had already planned how to use the 100 Origins Sacred Honey. Even if he used it now, he wouldn't be able to break through to the 6th level of the Sacred Lightning Body. Without being able to reach the 6th level of the Sacred Lightning Body, he had no chance of winning against the projection of a Sacred Lord's little world. Zhao Feng stood up and put the flying, flaming chariot back into the misty spatial world. Are you going to give up? The nine darkness demonic lord's eyes were filled with disdain. He was like a demonic sovereign from hell as his aura surged in all directions. Zhao Feng's expression changed as he released the scarlet wings of lightning and circulated his sacred body of metal lightning. As he retreated, a fist surrounded by red lightning shot out with limitless force. Sacred lightning dominating punch. Giant flaming fists made of golden lightning shot toward the nine darkness demonic lord. At the same time, the misty spatial world flashed with white light. Wung, close to 100 brightly colored poisonous bees flew out. They were all bee kings, and there were even 4 gorgeous bee emperors among them. So many 5 poison distinct bees. The nine darkness demonic lord's expression changed as he released a wave of black light that passed through space and covered everything within 1,000 miles. The projection of the little world of darkness descended. Boom! The sacred lightning dominating fist landed on the nine darkness demon lord's demonic light and black flames, but it only caused some ripples before it instantly collapsed like a piece of paper on fire. Under the restrictions of the nine darkness demon lord's little world, the 5 poison distinct bees became much slower, and their sensitivity dropped by more than 2 times. The level difference was too great, and the queen bee tier 5 poison distinct bee was completely suppressed. Explode, Zhao Feng said softly. Boom, boom, boom. Even Mystic Light Realm sacred lords wouldn't dare to pass through the explosion of several hundred 5 poison distinct bees. At the same time, Zhao Feng's left eye exploded with a divine light. In the soul dimension, 1,500 God Tribulation lightning symbols lit up, and the blue lake below began to sparkle. The divine light turned into a dark purple lightning spike that shot toward the nine darkness demonic lord. Ignorant, the nine netherworld demonic lord couldn't help sneering. After suffering a few times, how could he be careless? Zhao Feng's soul attack neared the level of a holy lord. The power of tribulation thunder contained within it was something that even a holy lord would find difficult to deal with. Who? Balls of black mist appeared from the nine darkness demonic lord's little world projection, and he was surrounded by a large amount of black mist. Whoosh! The suppression of the small world's rule power on the soul and what was relatively weak. The moment the dark purple thunder thorn touched the black mist, the thunder tribulation lightning on it increased dramatically. 1,500 thunder tribulation powers rushed out from it. They were immortal and indestructible. Wherever they passed, everything would be turned into ashes. Bam! A ball of black mist within the nine darkness demonic lord's little world projection was pierced through like a bullet through a piece of paper. How is this possible? The nine darkness demonic lord thought that with the little world's defenses, he would be fine and would continue to fly forward. However, this scene caused his mouth to gape. Bam! 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 There was no time to react. All the black mist passed through, and even the black mist around the nine darkness demonic lord only lasted for an instant. Whoosh! The dark purple lightning spike charged into the nine darkness demonic lord's soul. Arg! The nine darkness demonic lord screamed as the demonic flames around him weakened, and his little world projection started to twist. At this moment, the nine darkness demonic lord remembered the information he had received. Zhao Feng of the purple-haired demonic duo had a mysterious eye bloodline, and he specialized in soul attacks. He had already forgotten about this point. Even if a measly middle-stage void god realm genius was a Tao of the soul genius, the most they could do was affect a sacred lord. He didn't expect this brat to have been hiding it from the start and only exploded out now. On the other side, Zhao Feng's expression was grim, and the light in his left eye was dim. He had only used around 100 bolts of God Tribulation lightning in each of his soul attacks before, and he was able to slowly recover as he flew. The nine darkness demonic lord was already used to the strength of his soul attacks, and he even thought that this was the approximate range of Zhao Feng's soul attacks. Therefore, when 1,500 bolts of God Tribulation lightning were unleashed, They were able to break through the defenses of a mystic light realm, Sacred Lord's soul, and injure him to a certain degree. However, the power of God Tribulation lightning in his purple soul sea had been used up. At the same time that the Nine Darkness demonic lord was attacked, a dark light flashed behind him. Dark shadow stab. A dark figure appeared behind the Nine Darkness demonic lord, and a rippling dark shadow sword flashed with a weird black light as it stabbed into the Nine Darkness demonic lord's body. Damn it! The Nine Darkness demonic lord was enraged after being attacked by a soul attack due to his carelessness, and now he was ambushed by a physical attack. He roared, and everything within 1,000 miles started to tremble as his little world started to spread. It was as if the entire world of darkness was about to collapse. A beam of black demonic sacred light shot through Supreme Emperor Dark Knight, who was ambushing him from behind. Supreme Emperor Dark Knight's figure disappeared, and with a flash of dark light, he appeared 1,000 miles away. Although the Black Spring poison wasn't effective against Sacred Lords, the Dark Shadow Stab was his strongest assassination technique. Even Sacred Lords wouldn't feel good if they were hit by it. With a flash of dark light, Supreme Emperor Dark Knight merged into the air and disappeared. Supreme Emperor Dark Knight? Even if you're here to assassinate me, you're destined to die. The Nine Darkness demonic lord had an ugly expression. Although Supreme Emperor Dark Knight's attack had injured him, it was mostly physical damage and was easy to recover from. On the other hand, it was Zhao Feng's soul attack that had caused irreparable damage to his soul, and there was still a numbing pain in his soul. Sky Demon God Barrier. A layer of black light appeared around the Nine Darkness demonic lord, and he locked onto Zhao Feng. Junior, tricks are useless in front of absolute strength. The Nine Darkness demonic lord acted like he wasn't injured at all as he turned into a ball of demonic light and pressed forward with the projection of his little world. Nine Darkness demonic lord, since you're courting death, I'll fulfill your wish. Decisiveness flashed through Zhao Feng's eyes as his purple hair blew without any wind, and an invisible force spread. How arrogant! Die! The Nine Darkness demonic lord harumphed in anger as the projection of his little world spread to where Zhao Feng was, and the power of laws suppressed him. Supreme Emperor Dark Knight, who was hiding in the shadows, didn't dare to attack. He specialized in ambushes and killing in one blow, and now that the Nine Darkness demonic lord was on guard against him, he might not be able to escape even with the 8-winged shadow clone if the Nine Darkness demonic lord suddenly attacked him. Right as Supreme Emperor Dark Knight was hesitating, Zhao Feng's voice sounded in the depths of his soul. Leave first. Hearing Zhao Feng's order, Supreme Emperor Dark Knight let out a breath. It looked like his master was planning to use the misty spatial world to leave. Their battle power was close to the quasi-sacred lord level, but it wasn't enough to fight against a sacred lord. It was already incredible that his master was able to fight against a sacred lord for so long. Right when he was about to leave, he suddenly realized that the fire of Wind Lightning's true Yuan was surging out like a fountain around his master. Insanity appeared in Zhao Feng's cold eyes. A white mist appeared in front of the misty spatial world. Zhao Feng gently held the sky-locking bow in his left hand and a scarlet golden arrow in his right hand. The instant the scarlet golden arrow appeared, an unstoppable golden light pierced through the Nine Darkness demonic lord's little world projection and charged into the sky. The Nine Darkness demonic lord's soul suddenly felt a piercing pain, and his speed slowed down as he spoke with wide eyes. God-slaying arrow? A legendary, substandard god weapon. Zhao Feng looked at the Nine Darkness demonic lord with a cold gaze as he quickly raised the bow in his left hand and released an invisible force. That's a legendary substandard god weapon that can only be used once. You're crazy. The Nine Darkness demonic lord started to talk in fear, and he pretended to be trying to persuade Zhao Feng. No, Zhao Feng, put away the god-slaying arrow, and I promise that Nine Darkness Palace won't attack you in the future. Seeing that Zhao Feng had already drawn the bow, the Nine Darkness demonic lord's body started to tremble. Zhao Feng was unmoved as he pulled the bowstring. The moment the quintessential essence in his body poured in, the god-slaying arrow seemed to have awakened. Suddenly, it released a piercing golden divine radiance that covered the sky and the earth, overshadowing the golden crow's light above his head. Within a radius of 10,000 miles, the golden radiance rampaged. A magnificent power that could make gods and ghosts cry descended into heaven and earth and was absorbed into the scarlet golden arrow. The Nine Darkness demonic lord's little world projection was instantly pierced through by millions of small holes and shattered. Run! This was the only thought in the Nine Darkness demonic lord's mind. He burned his mystic light, sacred power, and origin sacred power to run. Only now did he regret not cultivating a flying technique. Who, the god-slaying arrow, furiously absorbed Zhao Feng's true yuan. Even though Zhao Feng's true yuan surpassed normal peak emperors in terms of quantity and quality, it was quickly being drained. Every time the bowstring was pulled back a bit, the suction force that was devouring Zhao Feng's power would double. The fire of wind lightning was instantly used up, followed by the water of wind lightning and the wood of wind lightning. The vast sea of true yuan was emptied in less than a breath. Next was the body of life, the perfect blood devil sun bloodline, the ice water bloodline, and the sacred lightning body. This suction force then turned to soul intent and the purple soul sea before finally touching the eye intent. Whoosh! When the bowstring was fully drawn, 100-mile-long silhouette of an arrow emerged from the god-slaying arrow, letting out a sharp metallic screech that seemed to be able to pierce through everything. At this moment, the heart of the Nine Darkness demonic lord, who was flying 50,000 miles away, trembled as the piercing cry sounded out in his soul. It was as if it had locked onto him, and no matter where he ran, the arrow would hit him. No, impossible. I've already run so far away. After the arrow was fired, the withered Zhao Feng slowly descended, his eyes dim and withered. Whoosh! Limitless golden light tore through the sky and tore through everything. The clouds within 10,000 miles instantly disappeared. In the distant horizon, a storm of golden divine light covered the sky and covered the sun. Chapter 904. On this day, within the 10,000 sacred clan, Grand Elder Old Monster Su, who had been in seclusion for several hundred years, left the forbidden grounds. This action stunned the other two emperors, but before they could ask anything, Old Monster Su had already left. Old Monster Su couldn't sit still anymore when he heard that the Nine Darkness demonic lord had taken action against Zhao Feng. I hope that Zhao Feng is still alive. Old Monster Su had an impatient gaze. In reality, he wanted the 100 Origins sacred honey in Zhao Feng's hands. He understood how mysterious and strong Zhao Feng was, but the difference between him and a mystic light realm sacred lord was like heaven and earth. How could he be so competitive? Old Monster Su could only hope that Zhao Feng's strength had increased recently and would be able to last a bit longer. I'll go to the Duke's palace and find Duke Nanfeng first. Otherwise, there's no chance of victory. Old Monster Su had already made his plan. Firstly, the Nine Darkness demonic lord wouldn't dare to take action against Duke Nanfeng since the Great Gone Imperials stood behind him. Secondly, he and Duke Nanfeng were two quasi-sacred lords, and they might be able to fight against a sacred lord with Zhao Feng's help. As long as he saved Zhao Feng and promised Zhao Feng something, Old Monster Su believed that Zhao Feng wouldn't refuse since they were from the same sect. That's the Nine Darkness demonic lord? Old Monster Su's expression changed. The sacred power that filled heaven and earth caused the true yuan within his body to tremble. Wasn't the Nine Darkness demonic lord chasing after Zhao Feng? Why was he here? Where was Zhao Feng? Was he already killed? At this moment, Old Monster Su's emotions were complex. Not good. Old Monster Su was about to say something when he bit his finger and drew a weird rune in the air with his blood. His body then turned into a ball of blood-colored light that exploded and disappeared. Boom! A storm of sharp metallic light appeared behind him, and countless ear-piercing metallic screeches covered everything. It was as if the only sound in the world of metal was the sound of metal. Whoosh! Whoosh, whoosh. All living beings below were turned into dust by the storm of metal. Bam! Old Monster Sue, who had fled for tens of thousands of kilometers, was smashed into the ground by the shock waves. When Old Monster Sue leaped out, he looked ahead in a daze. His mind was blank, and he had lost the ability to think. Within a radius of 10,000 li, there was a huge crater that was dozens of zhang deep. On the surface of the pit, there were countless tiny cut marks, covering every inch of it, and it even emitted a formless, sharp metal aura. And this was when the center of the explosion was in midair. It was hard to find the aura of the Nine Darkness Demon Lord within tens of thousands of miles. Didn't the Nine Darkness Demon Lord go after Zhao Feng? How did this happen? Old Monster Sue murmured in a daze. Could this be the power of the god slaying arrow? Old Monster Sue recalled the phantom of the golden divine arrow behind the Devil Lord just now. He raised his head again, but his heart was empty. Who would have thought that Zhao Feng would actually obtain this substandard god artifact in the ancient mysterious mansion? Substandard god weapons were divine weapons that only demigods could fully control. As for the god-slaughtering arrow, which could only be used once, its explosive power was not something an ordinary substandard god weapon could compare to. Even a demigod could only dodge. Old Monster Sue still couldn't believe that a mystic light realm sacred lord that could shake the continent had been killed by a middle-stage void god realm king and turned to dust right next to him. Thinking up to there, Old Monster Sue felt fear, and cold sweat appeared on his back. If he had been half a beat slower just now, if he didn't have that secret escape technique, if he had escaped in the wrong direction, he would have been reduced to ashes. Zhao Feng. Old Monster Sue recovered from his thoughts and flew into the air. Old Monster Sue soon found Zhao Feng by following the sharp aura of the god's slaying arrow. At this moment, Zhao Feng's body was withered, and his face was pale. Blood leaked out of his mouth as he sat in a crater. Old Monster Sue's footsteps stopped as his eyes spun. Zhao Feng had just fought with his sacred lord and used the god-slaying arrow. He should be extremely weak and wouldn't be able to fight back at all. He was the biggest beneficiary of the divine illusion dimension and one of the biggest winners of the ancient mysterious mansion. He had many secrets. If he attacked now, Old Monster Sue's eyes became deep as his right hand trembled in hesitation. Finally, Old Monster Sue sighed and quickly walked toward Zhao Feng. Little friend Zhao, how are you feeling? Protect me. I need to recover. Zhao Feng's lips moved slightly, and some peak-grade primal crystal stones appeared in his hand. He shattered them, and pure heaven-earth yuan surged into his true yuan dimension. Zhao Feng first turned the heaven-earth yuan into the water of wind lightning. The water of wind lightning's strong recovery ability could quickly heal his injuries. He then turned part of the water of wind lightning into the wood of wind lightning, which worked together with the water of wind lightning to heal. The god-slaying arrow had used up all the energy in Zhao Feng's body. If he didn't replenish his energy in time, there would be serious side effects. On the other hand, Zhao Feng's left eye had already noticed Old Monster Sue's arrival. Zhao Feng had been waiting for him. Old Monster Sue's heart jumped. Zhao Feng was still as calm as water. He was heavily injured, but he was still so calm, as if he wasn't afraid that Old Monster Sue would attack him. Okay. Old Monster Sue replied, and a surge of quasi-sacred, lord-level magnificent power spread out, but it didn't affect Zhao Feng at all. Old Monster Sue couldn't see through Zhao Feng, who was shrouded in a layer of mystery. He didn't dare to attack, or rather, he didn't dare to gamble. He didn't dare to gamble that Zhao Feng was just bluffing or that he had other plans. If he couldn't obtain the 100 Origin Sacred Honey, he would die within 3 years. Furthermore, the death of the 9 Darkness Demonic Lord had shocked him. Life and death could be decided by a single thought. Old Monster Sue chose to compromise. A smile appeared on Zhao Feng's face as he healed. This was a test for Old Monster Sue. If Old Monster Sue tried to take advantage of the situation, then the matter of the 100 Origin Sacred Honey would be over. Furthermore, The little thieving cat and Supreme Emperor Dark Knight wouldn't give Old Monster Sue a chance to attack. The water of wind lightning and wood of wind lightning soon circulated within Zhao Feng's body, and the life force within Zhao Feng's body started to recover. Zhao Feng then ate some 100 origin fruit juice and the green leaf of the green water sky lotus. What made him overjoyed was that his sacred lightning body had broken through to the peak stages of the 5th level, even though all the life force within his body had been squeezed out. This meant that Zhao Feng only needed to use the 100 origin sacred honey to reach the limit of the 5th level and create a firm foundation for the 6th level of the sacred lightning body. His cultivation was also closing in on the late stages of the Void God realm, and he only needed to consolidate it before breaking through. However, what made Zhao Feng move the most was that the whirlpool at the center of the blue lake in the dimension of his left eye wasn't spinning as calmly as before. A weird light would occasionally flash from it, as if something was brewing. Zhao Feng could already sense it. Seeing that Zhao Feng's injuries were quickly recovering and that his strength had increased, Old Monster Sue immediately gave a faint smile and said, "Little friend Zhao, I came this time to apologize for what happened last time. I wasted little friend Zhao's kindness." Old Monster Sue started to stutter. After all, he was a bag of old bones, and he was apologizing to a youth who was only in his teens, and the other party was only at the middle stages of the Void God realm. However, when he thought about how a mystic light realm sacred lord had been killed by Zhao Feng, he felt much better. Seeing that Zhao Feng was still healing and acting as if he hadn't heard anything, Old Monster Sue continued to speak. "The second thing is that I came this time to ask little friend Zhao to give me another portion of the 100 origin sacred honey. If little friend Zhao needs anything in the future, I will do my best to help without any complaints. There's no need to say anything else. I don't need to tell you how precious the 100 origin sacred honey is. If you want another portion, the only condition is that you become my servant for 100 years. After 100 years, I will give you your freedom. Otherwise, there's nothing else to talk about." Zhao Feng's voice sounded. Old Monster Sue's expression froze as he started to think. The value of the 100 origin sacred honey was immeasurable. If one tried to break through to the mystic light realm for the first time, the chance of success was as high as 80%. Even if Old Monster Sue took out all his wealth, he wouldn't be able to exchange for a portion of the 100 origin sacred honey in the Great Gone Lore dynasty. Adding on this time, that would be 2 portions of the 100 origin sacred honey. However, only the crown prince of the Great Gone Lore dynasty could have a mystic light realm sacred lord as a servant. What did this Zhao Feng have? No, Zhao Feng has reached the middle stages of the Void God realm at such a young age and has the battle power of a quasi-sacred lord. He also has many resources and substandard god weapons from the divine illusion dimension. It won't be a problem for him to become a sacred lord in the future or even higher. His potential is immeasurable. Old Monster Sue's thoughts spun. He didn't expect Zhao Feng to make such a request. There are too many people who need the 100 origin sacred honey, and their chances of breaking through to the mystic light realm and their potential in the future aren't something you can compare with. Zhao Feng reminded and got up. With a flash of silver, the little thieving cat landed on Zhao Feng's shoulder and nodded its head at Old Monster Sue, as if it was trying to convince him to agree. A black figure appeared behind Old Monster Sue and arrived next to Zhao Feng before being covered by a white mist and entering the misty spatial world. Old Monster Sue, who was still hesitating, started to sweat. Wasn't that Supreme Emperor Dark Knight? He was ranked 25th in Black Screen Corner and had a record of assassinating a sacred lord. There was also the little thieving cat that followed Zhao Feng like a shadow. It had been hiding nearby, and he hadn't even noticed it. From the looks of it, Supreme Emperor Dark Knight had already teamed up with Zhao Feng for the 100 origin sacred honey. Seeing that Zhao Feng was about to leave, Old Monster Sue gritted his teeth and suddenly said, "Little friend Zhao, don't leave yet. I'm willing. As long as you give me another portion of the 100 origin sacred honey, I'm willing to be your slave for 100 years." Old Monster Sue was going all out. Although he was half a step into the mystic light realm, that didn't mean that he would definitely reach the mystic light realm. His lifespan was too short. If he failed, then the promise of being a slave for 100 years would be useless. Okay, come with me. Zhao Feng's eyes flashed as he walked forward and placed one hand on old monster Su's body before activating the misty spatial world. Zhao Feng didn't believe in a promise when it came to becoming a slave. He needed to plant the dark heart seal in the other party. At this moment, Zhao Feng's intent hadn't recovered yet, so he could only take old monster Su away. Old monster Su felt a weird disturbance in space as he was surrounded by white mist. In the next instant, he appeared in the Duke's palace. This is spatial travel? Could it be the misty spatial world? Old monster Su's heart shook. He had only heard that the misty spatial world had appeared in the divine illusion dimension, but he didn't expect it to be in Zhao Feng's hands. No wonder Zhao Feng was able to sneak into the 10,000 Sacred Clan last time. Chapter 905. Zhao Feng had gained a lot from the battle with the Sacred Lord, but it was a pity that he had lost the substandard god-slaying arrow. Zhao Feng wouldn't use the last one unless he had to. It was his biggest killing move right now. Although it was a pity, the battle with the Sacred Lord was unavoidable. He couldn't stay in the Duke's palace forever. If he did that, he would owe Duke Nanfeng a favor, and the chances of him getting the Cloud Silkworm Saint Butterfly would become smaller and smaller. Furthermore, Nine Darkness Palace wasn't the only force that was preparing to take action against Zhao Feng. For example, Earthspear Hall might send a Sacred Lord as well. He had offended many forces in the divine illusion dimension, but most of them were too far away, and he believed that many more forces were on their way. Thus, Zhao Feng needed some sort of deterrence. However, the Nine Darkness Demonic Lord had arrived too quickly, and Zhao Feng's sacred lightning body hadn't broken through to the 6th level yet, so he couldn't fight back against the Sacred Lord. Therefore, Zhao Feng made his decision from the very beginning. He would use a god-slaying arrow and the life of the Nine Darkness Demonic Lord in exchange for this threat. Mystic Light Realm Sacred Lords were the peak of an era, and even 3-star superpowers only had a few of them. Who would complain about having too many? However, this threat was only temporary. He had to cultivate and increase his own strength to a level that his enemies couldn't match up to in order to protect his own life. Within the Duke's palace, Duke Nanfeng became restless. The scouts he sent out still hadn't received any news. Zhao Feng, Duke Nanfeng suddenly sensed something. At the same time, he felt another powerful aura. Duke, sorry for disturbing you. Zhao Feng walked into the hall. Duke Nanfeng was in. Zhao Feng, are you okay? That's good. You can stay here for now. If the Nine Darkness Demonic Lord comes again, I won't let him harm you. From the looks of it, Zhao Feng's injuries weren't light. Duke Nanfeng felt slightly apologetic as he patted his chest. Duke, don't worry. The Nine Darkness Demonic Lord won't come again, but I do need to rest here for a day or two, Zhao Feng said with a smile. Duke Nanfeng revealed a puzzled expression. The Nine Darkness Demonic Lord wouldn't come again? What did that mean? He then looked at old monster Su and felt a little surprised. Could it be that old monster Su and Zhao Feng can fight against the sacred leader if they join forces? After all, old monster Su was an old monster who had lived for nearly 10,000 years. His trump cards were not to be underestimated. Old monster Su stood on the side, and his heart clenched when he saw how much Duke Nanfeng cared for Zhao Feng. It seems like Duke Nanfeng really needs the 100 Origins sacred honey in Zhao Feng's hands. Duke Nanfeng, this old man will also stay here for a while. You won't mind my old bones, right? Within the room, Zhao Feng sat cross-legged and healed. Since his life force had been used up, Zhao Feng ate some rare resources from the divine illusion dimension. He then circulated the water of wind lightning and wood of wind lightning within his body to stimulate the medicinal effects and nourish his physique. After doing all this, he sank his consciousness into the soul world. If his soul was severely damaged, it would be troublesome. After all, this was the first time that Zhao Feng had used up all of his soul intent. At this moment, there was only a thin purple mist floating in the soul sea world, and the power of the god tribulation, lightning, was slowly recovering. The blue lake in the center still gave Zhao Feng a weird feeling. The blue lake had always existed in the dimension of his left eye, and Zhao Feng would be able to sense it even if it was slightly different from before. After inspecting it closely and finding no serious problems, Zhao Feng ate some resources that could condense soul intent and absorb the power of God Tribulation lightning from the demigod head to condense his soul intent. At the same time, he also checked the recovery of the Soul Sea world. Late at night, a black figure dashed into a certain hall. "Reporting to your highness, the battle between Zhao Feng and the Nine Darkness demonic lord has spread across several 100,000 miles, but we haven't found any traces of the Nine Darkness demonic lord." A figure in black half-kneeled on the ground. "How many auras of battle are there?" Duke Nanfeng asked. If old monster Su interfered, the aura of a quasi-sacred lord would be easily detected. "Two," the black figure said with certainty. "However, one of the battlefields is extremely destructive, and there's still a lingering metal elemental aura," the black figure added. Duke Nanfeng's eyes twinkled before returning to normal. "You can leave now." "Understood." Metal elemental aura? Looks like the rumors from the Imperials were correct. Zhao Feng obtained a substandard god slaying arrow from the ancient mysterious palace. Duke Nanfeng sighed in a low tone and was stunned. Substandard god weapons were forbidden powers. Every time they appeared, they would shake heaven and earth and affect the situation of the dynasties and clans. A single-use substandard god weapon wasn't worth much. The aura of the Nine Darkness demonic lord disappeared, and I can't find any traces of him. Looks like he died to the substandard god weapon. The death of the Nine Darkness demonic lord stunned Duke Nanfeng, but he was more regretful about the single-use substandard god weapon. However, Duke Nanfeng knew that no matter how hard he tried to block the news of the death of a sacred lord, some forces would still be able to find out. Unknowingly, Zhao Feng had obtained a powerful force that temporarily ensured his safety. 3 days later, in Zhao Feng's room, he had finished his discussion with old monster Su. "Don't resist," Zhao Feng said calmly as a bottomless purple abyss formed his left eye, and a surge of eye intent condensed. What powerful soul, eye bloodline power. It's almost at the level of a sacred lord. Old monster Su was stunned. Zhao Feng's soul intent had improved once again. A dark purple seal of lightning slowly formed and imprinted itself into the depths of old monster Su's soul, along with the aura of God Tribulation lightning. A while later, "This is a portion of 100 Origin Sacred Honey. It's your last chance to break through to the mystic light realm," Zhao Feng said faintly. "Understood, Master. I won't let you down." Old monster Su's eyes twinkled as he spoke with sincerity. "Old monster Su, the 10,000 Sacred Clan will become my subordinate force in the future and work for me. I need you to manage it and make some changes. Pick out people with talent in intelligence, assassination, and management and train them. You can discuss the specifics with the Pavilion Master of the Ocean Smoke Pavilion," Zhao Feng ordered. In order to create a large force, one needed a large number of foundational members and talented geniuses. The peak 2-star 10,000 Sacred Clan was perfect. Once old monster Su broke through to the mystic light realm, the 10,000 Sacred Clan would become a 3-star force. 3-star forces were considered peak existences in the ocean. "Understood, Master." Old monster Su seemed to realize something, and he admired Zhao Feng even more. After old monster Su left, Zhao Feng arrived outside Duke Nanfeng's hall. "Zhao Feng, you're leaving?" Duke Nanfeng's bright voice sounded. "Thank you for taking care of me, Duke. I've already thought about the cloud silkworm Saint Butterfly." Duke Nanfeng's figure suddenly appeared in front of Zhao Feng. A light flashed through Zhao Feng's eyes, but his expression remained the same. In reality, the reason Zhao Feng came to the Duke's palace to recover was to wait for Duke Nanfeng's reply. He believed that Duke Nanfeng had already investigated the death of the Nine Darkness demonic lord, so he was planning to ask about it one more time before leaving. He didn't expect Duke Nanfeng to bring it up himself. What is Duke's decision? Zhao Feng didn't hide his concern. "Zhao Feng, I'm willing to trade with you for the cloud silkworm Saint Butterfly. I hope that you'll treat it well." Decisiveness flashed through Duke Nanfeng's eyes as he took out the cloud silkworm, Saint Butterfly. The cloud silkworm Saint Butterfly was slightly excited when it saw Zhao Feng and the little thieving cat. It flapped its wings, and a terrifying aura spread. "Thank you, Duke." Zhao Feng was overjoyed. He thought that Duke Nanfeng would try to bargain with him. There's a portion of 100 Origins sacred honey and some legendary ores that can be used to craft substandard god weapons. Zhao Feng handed over an interspatial ring. Duke Nanfeng looked through it and was shocked. At the same time, a bitter smile appeared on his face as he looked at the cloud silkworm Saint Butterfly that was stuck to the little thieving cat. The cloud silkworm Saint Butterfly was very important to him, but it seemed like it liked Zhao Feng as its owner more. He was also very satisfied with the conditions that Zhao Feng offered. Most importantly, Zhao Feng's future potential was limitless as long as he wasn't killed by an expert. "Zhao Feng, if you don't need the cloud silkworm Saint Butterfly in the future, I hope that you can trade with me," Duke Nanfeng messaged as he saw that Zhao Feng was about to leave. Duke Nanfeng then returned to his room and prepared to break through to the mystic light realm. Continent Zone, Feng Province, 7 Aperture Mountain. The 7 Aperture Mountain was a famous place in Feng Province. The 7 mountains formed the shape of the Big Dipper, and the spiritual chi within the mountain was dense. Grass and trees reached into the sky, and fierce beasts roamed around. It was a trial ground for many true spirit realm and origin core realm disciples of nearby forces. However, at this moment, the 7 Aperture Mountain was surrounded by 5-colored light. The 7 mountains had been flattened, and their aura shook everything within 10,000 miles. Even Void God Realm Emperors didn't dare to come close. At the center of the 7 Aperture Mountain, a black-scaled male was bound by transparent golden chains. Faint golden runes flashed within the chains. "You humans dare to ambush the Destruction Dragon race." The black-scaled male roared at the sky. He had been very careful ever since he came to this physical dimension. He had been killing and destroying in secret to recover his strength. Every time the runes on the golden chains flashed, they would create a large amount of divine power that would exhaust the Black Destruction Serpent Dragon. The Black Destruction Serpent Dragon's indestructible dragon body kept on recovering under the destruction of the golden divine power, but it would never be able to completely recover. Outside the square-shaped array that trapped the Black Destruction Serpent Dragon, there were 4 balls of light radiating limitless divine power. Each of them stood in a corner. One could faintly see a withered hand, 1 fat, and 2 dignified elders wearing dragon-patterned golden robes. Each of them had a golden chain in their hands. 3 peerless experts floated behind each of the 4 balls of light. They also held a slightly thinner golden chain in their hands, and their every movement radiated limitless power. If Zhao Feng was here, he would definitely be stunned because the aura radiating from each expert floating in the air was dozens of times stronger than the 9 Darkness Demonic Lord. "Hurry up and seal it, Grand Emperor's song," the fat-faced elder with big ears messaged from within the ball of light. "If this continues, it will exhaust us even more. Don't worry, our Sky Suspension Palace will pay for the damage of the Golden Yuan Divine Chains," the withered elder immediately said. Decisiveness flashed through Grand Emperor Song's eyes as he roared, "Seal begin." The entire 7 Aperture Mountains started to tremble, and limitless divine power condensed and formed a giant crater. The expressions of the experts behind the 4 balls of divine light instantly became solemn as they unleashed the power of their little worlds and circulated their mystic light sacred power. "I would rather die than have my freedom shackled again." Black flames surged in the black-scaled male's eyes, and a chaotic surge of black flames broke free from the layers of golden yuan divine chains. Wung, wung, the Black Destruction Serpent Dragon's body suddenly released an ancient power of destruction, and limitless black flames of divine light shot out. The space around it started to twist under this destruction divine power. The 4-sided array, protected by the boundless divine light, shattered in the spatial storm. The golden yuan divine chains in everyone's hands started to tremble, and hum lightly. Not good. The power of the origin of destruction. Chapter 906. The Destruction Dragon Race was a terrifying race ranked 9th among the 10,000 ancient races, and they were born for destruction. Every annihilation dragon's growth was accompanied by endless destruction. They comprehended from destruction and absorbed the origin of destruction to strengthen themselves. The origin of destruction was the source of the Destruction Dragon Race's power. Not good. It's the power of the origin of destruction, the chubby elder exclaimed as the sacred power within his body started to tremble. The Black Destruction Serpent Dragon's body released an undying black divine light, and a magnificent power that could destroy heaven and earth affected everything within 10,000 miles. The space nearby became unstable and started to twist under the pressure. Wisps of undying black flames appeared. These black flames burned through the air and started to slowly expand. How can it be so strong? Grand Emperor Song was stunned. The origin of destruction was the foundation of the Destruction Dragon Race's power. This meant that if they wanted to weaken the Destruction Dragon Race, they needed to reduce its origin of destruction. At this moment, the Black Destruction Serpent Dragon's battle power wasn't even at the level of a demigod, but the origin of destruction it released was enough to suppress all the experts present. Even the substandard god weapon, the Golden Yuan Divine Chains, wasn't able to withstand it. All of this exceeded everyone's expectations. It's destroying the dimension within its body in order to obtain even more origin of destruction. Elder Gumu's clear eyes seemed to be able to see through everything as he spoke in shock. The Black Destruction Serpent Dragon had its own world within its body. This was a unique talent of the Black Destruction Serpent Dragon. That world contained the origin of destruction of the Black Destruction Serpent Dragon, and the two of them interacted with each other. The Black Destruction Serpent Dragon's unique dimension even contained the element of destruction. Now that the Black Destruction Serpent Dragon was destroying its own foundation, the terrifying ripple of origin of destruction made the hearts of all the experts present shake. The sacred lords in the back felt their power being suppressed, and they couldn't even use their little worlds to descend. What? This black loach? The expression of the other elder in golden robes with dragon tattoos was as deep as dead water. All of you, fall into hell with me. The black flood dragon roared towards the sky, its aura towering into the heavens, venting its anger. The black flames in its eyes burned crazily. A world-shaking aura of destruction suddenly erupted. A crack appeared on the black-scaled man's armor, for which a pitch-black light of destruction shot out. The expressions of the four supreme mighty figures were incomparably grave as they communicated with each other via voice transmission. At this moment, if they continued to seal themselves, not only would they be severely injured, the power of the Golden Yuan Divine Chains would also weaken dramatically, and the 12 sacred lords behind them might all die. The death of a sacred lord was a small matter, but if the Dark Moon Lord dynasty learned that they were heavily injured, a war between the two dynasties would erupt at any moment. It might even lead to the destruction of the entire dynasty. If he chose to retreat, the Black Destruction Serpent Dragon might be able to escape. At its peak, the Black Flood Dragon could easily destroy the great Qian dynasty. Soon, the four of them came to a decision. Retreat. Retreat quickly. Grand Emperor Song immediately put away the Golden Origin Divine Chains. Boom! The Black Destruction Serpent Dragon's body suddenly exploded, and an ancient and supreme aura descended. Countless black flames of destruction shot out, turning everything in their path into nothingness. The entire 7-aperture mountain was enveloped in the destructive and brutal black light, divine flames. The 4 balls of divine light quickly retreated from the 7-aperture mountain. However, the sacred lords weren't so lucky. They didn't know that the ancestors would suddenly give this order. Just being touched by the origin power of destruction was enough for the destructive dragon flames to absorb the power within the sacred lords' bodies and burn even more fiercely. The damage it caused was the same as the undying power of God Tribulation lightning. The four ancestors stood around the seven-aperture mountain, and their eyes flashed. They spread out their divine senses, but they were unable to enter the storm of black flames that contained the origin power of destruction. Suddenly, countless tiny black serpent dragon shadows dashed out of the destructive storm of black flames. At first glance, it looked like an ant's nest. The tiny black serpent dragons were extremely agile and escaped in every direction. "Kill them all," a powerful voice sounded from Grand Emperor Song's mouth. All the sacred lords instantly started to move, and their mystic light, sacred power suppressed the area and turned hundreds and thousands of black serpent dragons into dust. The four ancestors didn't do anything. Their eyes locked onto the depths of the storm of destructive dragon flames. But the magnificent power they released caused all the small black serpent dragons that passed by them to crumble. Shameless humans, the black serpent dragon roared in the world of darkness. A black-scale black serpent dragon that was 400 to 500 yards long suddenly flew out. Its eyes were blood red, and its scales were covered in cracks and bleeding. "Go!" The four elders released a divine light as they chased after the black serpent dragon. The invisible, magnificent power of heaven and earth was like a prison that locked down everything. No one realized that the instant the giant black serpent dragon flew into the sky, a tiny black serpent dragon drilled into the depths of the ground. "The day I return will be the day all of you die." After returning to the Ocean Smoke Pavilion, Zhao Feng immediately entered seclusion. His injuries had only recovered by 60% or so, and he still needed to stabilize them. He circulated the 10,000 divine thoughts technique and focused on healing his injuries. A portion of the symbols in his purple soul, see, slowly merged into the fire of wind lightning within the crystal core dimension. 3 days later, Zhao Feng's injuries had completely healed, and his purple soul sea had returned to normal. This way, Zhao Feng could cultivate his body and soul intent. He split off a few thoughts and cultivated the fire of wind lightning, sacred lightning body, and sacred lightning dominating fist at the same time to absorb the power of God Tribulation lightning within the demigod head. The power of God Tribulation lightning was easier to imprint in his purple soul sea, and it could also refine his soul intent. This was why Zhao Feng wasn't afraid of the trouble and imprinted the God Tribulation lightning into his fire of wind lightning. 5 days later, Zhao Feng's sacred lightning body suddenly shook, and a flash of golden lightning entered his body. Sacred lightning body, peak 5th level. Zhao Feng's eyes twinkled. All he needed to do now was use a portion of 100 Origins sacred honey, and his sacred lightning body would reach the limits of the 5th level. "I should rest for a while and let the power of my sacred lightning body settle." Zhao Feng thought for a moment and nodded. Several more days passed. The aura from Zhao Feng's body suddenly rose to the late-stage void god realm. At the same time, his fire of wind lightning also stabilized at the early stages of the crystal core dimension. More than 100 symbols of God Tribulation lightning accompanied his surging red true yuan. On this day, 2 figures descended from the misty moon island zone. One of them was a young male with a tall figure and an ancient green sword of lightning on his waist. He was very young, but he had already reached the level of an emperor. The other was an elder wearing black robes. His face was covered in wrinkles, and his one eye gave off a soul-shaking feeling. "Ninth Prince, are you really going to recruit Zhao Feng?" The one-eyed elder was puzzled. The purple-haired demonic duo's actions in the divine illusion dimension have offended half the forces of the Great Gone Lore dynasty. Furthermore, the 13th Prince has said many bad things about the purple-haired demonic duo in front of the Sacred Emperor, especially Zhao Feng. The entire Imperials don't have a good impression of them, the one-eyed elder said. "Olding, I have my own plans." The 9th Prince looked at the one-eyed elder with a determined gaze and said seriously. Olding shook his head and didn't say anything else. The two moved extremely quickly and soon arrived at the Ocean Smoke Pavilion. This Ocean Smoke Pavilion is a good place. The Heaven Earth Yuan Qi and Feng Shui are both good. Old Ying's eyes flashed. The Ninth Prince also stopped and looked around the Water Bay's sacred land. The Great Gan Imperials have arrived. Zhao Feng, why aren't you coming out to greet them? Old Ying suddenly roared, and an invisible magnificent power spread out and covered the entire Water Bay's sacred land. Boom! A loud explosion sounded in the Water Bay sacred land. All the birds and beasts were startled, and the ocean shook. The array formation in the mist immediately appeared, showing a hint of disorder. All the members within the Ocean Smoke Pavilion felt their blood boil, and they couldn't resist at all. So strong. Bai Qingyue's expression turned to surprise. Whoosh! A dark blue figure flew out and arrived before the Ninth Prince. She said respectfully, I'm the Pavilion Master of the Ocean Smoke Pavilion. Ninth Prince, please come in and have a cup of tea. We can discuss the matter in detail. Where is Zhao Feng? Tell him to come out, Ninth Prince. Old Ying's deep voice sounded as he looked down from above. Old Ying, I'll talk. The Ninth Prince immediately stopped him and flew down. Old Ying's expression became grim, but he could only follow. He wanted to see what kind of ability Zhao Feng had to make the Ninth Prince personally come out to recruit him. Wang, a strong surge of soul intent suddenly shot out from the Hall of the Ocean Smoke Pavilion and instantly covered the entire Water Bay sacred land. The magnificent power that Old Ying and the Ninth Prince controlled instantly lost control of and was taken over by this soul intent. When this soul intent swept over them, they felt a chill run down their backs. They felt as if their entire bodies had been seen through. What a strong soul intent. Old Ying was stunned. He stopped underestimating this soul intent and became slightly curious. Within the secret chamber, Zhao Feng slowly opened his eyes. The purple whirlpool in his left eye started to calm down before disappearing. A feeling of tiredness also appeared in his left eye. The limit of an emperor intent is infinitely close to that of a sacred lord. The instant his soul intent improved, Zhao Feng sensed the uninvited guests outside the Ocean Smoke Pavilion. Acting so arrogantly in their own territory was a warning from Zhao Feng. Within the living room, how come a Ninth Prince has the time to come all the way here? Zhao Feng took a sip of tea and asked casually. The Ninth Prince gave a deep look at Zhao Feng. The shock in his heart hadn't disappeared yet. When Zhao Feng left the Divine Illusion dimension, he was still at the late-stage Great Origin Core Realm. In just half a year, he had reached the late-stage Void God Realm. This cultivation speed was extremely shocking. The Ninth Prince had indeed found the right person. The Ninth Prince also knew that Zhao Feng's true identity was also a legend. Brother Zhao's cultivation speed is incredible. I've come this time to ask for Brother Zhao's help. The Ninth Prince's eyes trembled as he went straight to the point. Since he was used to the fake politeness of those in power, Zhao Feng admired the Ninth Prince's straightforwardness. However, he was more puzzled. The one-eyed elder next to the Ninth Prince had the strength of a quasi-sacred lord, and it wasn't as simple as it seemed. Furthermore, the prince of the Great Gan Lord dynasty had the Great Gan Imperials and the Imperial Extreme Hall behind him. He was the ruler of the entire Great Gan Lord dynasty. What did he need his help with? I wonder if Brother Zhao has heard of the Crown Prince seal? The Ninth Prince's expression became solemn. Chapter 907. Let's hear it. Zhao Feng could only think about it when he heard the word Crown Prince, but he didn't know the specifics. The expressions of the other three froze. They were subjects of the Great Gan Lord dynasty, but they didn't know about the Crown Prince seal. Bai Qingyue quickly accepted this. She had interacted with Zhao Feng for a while now and knew that Zhao Feng was a cultivation maniac. Even though he was in the intelligence agency, he didn't pay much attention to the outside world. Old Ying had been observing Zhao Feng with his single eye ever since he came in. The more he observed, the more shocked he became. It was as if he could see things that others couldn't. If it weren't for the fact that Zhao Feng's reputation was too bad, Old Ying would have approved of the Ninth Prince hiring this helper. The symbol of the great Gonlor dynasty is the imperial seal, and the imperial seal used to be the crown prince's seal. The ninth prince organized his thoughts and said in a solemn tone, "The imperial seal was the symbol of the great Gonlor dynasty. It was the carrier of the Lord dynasty's providence, and the sacred emperor could enjoy the providence of the Lord dynasty. Every generation of sacred emperors was chosen from the princes and went through a lot of trials and tribulations. The key to deciding the victor was the crown prince's seal, which proved who the crown prince was. This generation of sacred emperors only has 10 years left. 4 years later, there will be a fight for the position of crown prince." Bai Qinghua paused for a moment. Calculating the time, that was indeed the case. She had been busy managing the Ocean Smoke Pavilion and had forgotten about this. The battle for the position of crown prince was a grand event in the great Gonlor dynasty. Almost all the 2-star and 3-star powers and families would participate. This was an opportunity to reshuffle the cards. In the past, the Ocean Smoke Pavilion was a subordinate force of 9 Darkness Palace and didn't have the right to participate, but it was different now. "What does this have to do with me?" Zhao Feng yawned and seemed to be distracted. Old Ying's mouth twitched when he saw that Zhao Feng was still like this. "The battle for the position of crown prince isn't as simple as you think. All the princes will enter another dimension, and each prince has a certain number of spots. They can bring other people in to help them. Zhao Feng, I need your help to fight for the position of crown prince." The ninth prince's expression was serious, and his eyes were sincere. Everything that had happened in the divine illusion dimension was deeply engraved in the ninth prince's mind. The purple-haired demonic duo had fought against all the forces with just the 2 of them, making them feel helpless and fearful. Apart from the Sky Sword Pavilion obtaining a damaged ancient god artifact, the purple-haired demonic duo had gained the most from the ancient mysterious palace. A large part of the reason they were able to survive the Black Destruction Serpent Dragon's claws was because of the purple-haired demonic duo. The ninth prince thought about it carefully. The purple-haired demonic duo didn't have a good reputation, and Nan Gongsheng had been infected by the power of the evil god and was being chased by many forces. He could only recruit Zhao Feng. Zhao Feng was extremely mysterious, and he had even obtained a support-type substandard god weapon, the Misty spatial world. He believed that this substandard god artifact would be of great help to him when he fought for the position of crown prince. Furthermore, Zhao Feng's battle power couldn't be underestimated. His eye bloodline and state of existence were extremely strong, and now that he had reached the late stages of the Void God realm, he would definitely be even stronger. If he was recruited, he would definitely be an important person. He also knew that the 8th prince didn't get along with Zhao Feng, and the 13th prince even viewed Zhao Feng as an enemy, so he immediately rushed over. Bai Qinghua stood behind Zhao Feng and was filled with excitement and joy. She didn't expect that her master would be personally recruited by a prince. Her master definitely wouldn't let go of such a good opportunity. That dimension was the resting place of the Imperials, and it contained countless inheritances and treasures. The weakest treasure was at the level of a quasi-sacred lord. Some people even suspected that there was an inheritance of a demigod expert from the early Imperials, who knew how many people fought for this spot, throwing away countless precious treasures. Once the 9th prince, whom Zhao Feng was assisting, won, even Zhao Feng would receive a large amount of providence and be protected by heaven and earth. In the future, if the 9th prince took over, Zhao Feng might even be able to join the Imperials and enter the upper echelon of the Grand Imperial Hall. Zhao Feng's force would also rise because of this. With old Ying and the 9th prince's explanation, Zhao Feng had a basic understanding of the battle to be crown prince. Zhao Feng didn't really want the inheritances in that dimension. These inheritances were left behind by the Imperials, so it would be easier to obtain them with the Imperial bloodline. Furthermore, the Golden Kuan's sacred lightning body and the 5 elemental wind lightning technique that Zhao Feng had were originally the techniques that demigod Kuan Yun cultivated, but they were modified by the Heaven's Legacy race and became top-tier techniques. On the other hand, Zhao Feng didn't want to get involved in the battle between the Imperials, which involved almost all the forces of the Lord Dynasty. It wasn't easy for him to obtain the shock and awe, which gave him temporary peace. He needed to put more energy into cultivation and increase his strength. On top of that, he didn't know which prince the Duanmu family was standing behind. Duanmu Qing, the purple saint partial spirit, and Zhao Yufei all wanted to revive the Duanmu family. Zhao Feng obviously didn't want to stand on the opposite side of the Duanmu family. Sorry, I can't agree. Zhao Feng immediately rejected. The living room instantly became silent. The ninth prince, Old Ing, and Bai Qingyue's mouths opened wide, and they suspected that they had heard wrong. They originally thought that Zhao Feng didn't understand the battle to be crown prince, which was why he was so disinterested. After explaining everything, they were sure that Zhao Feng would agree. However, they didn't expect him to reject them so decisively. Why is that? Does Brother Zhao not like me? Loneliness flashed through the ninth prince's eyes. Amongst the princes, his background was the most ordinary, and the forces that supported him weren't as strong as the other princes. Right now, he hadn't recruited enough people. He had secretly received some news that many princes had recruited extremely terrifying people. Zhao Feng, you don't even want such a chance. Old Ing was impatient and disappointed that Zhao Feng didn't live up to his expectations. He was already against the ninth prince coming all the way here to talk, but he didn't expect Zhao Feng to reject the ninth prince's invitation. Firstly, I'm not interested in the inheritance inside. Secondly, I don't think that you have a high chance of winning. In other words, I'm risking my life to help you, but I won't get anything out of it. Zhao Feng believed that the ninth prince and Old Ing would try to persuade him if he didn't have any reason to reject them. So Zhao Feng gave 2 reasons to reject them. The ninth prince and Old Ing didn't fully believe Zhao Feng's words. Why wouldn't anyone want the inheritance of a demigod? The inheritances of experts didn't just include battle techniques and techniques. There were also treasures and weapons that they had collected when they were alive. Although Old Ing didn't agree with Zhao Feng at the start, he felt extremely uncomfortable that he and the ninth prince had been rejected. Zhao Feng, the benefits of entering the imperial tombs aren't limited to just this. Old Ying's murky eyes suddenly twinkled. The imperial tombs are a broken dimension left behind from the ancient era and are extremely unstable. Even now, those above the level of the Sacred King are unable to enter. Therefore, there might be secrets and treasures from the ancient era hidden within. Furthermore, the aura of the ancient era contained within is very helpful for increasing one's state of existence. Many outsiders that have entered the imperial tombs have used this opportunity to break through to the mystic light realm. Old Ing said as he slowly thought back. Sacred King was the title given to those that had reached the peak stages of the mystic light realm, and they were between demigods and sacred lords. Zhao Feng's expression paused for a moment. A dimension left behind from the ancient era was very attractive to him, and he really wanted to explore it. Old Ing saw this, and he felt smug. Brother Zhao, if you're willing to help me, I, Zhou Zihong, am willing to promise you 3 things. As long as it's within my power, I'll do it even if I become the crown prince or the sacred emperor. Zhou Zihong's eyes were filled with determination. The expressions of Zhao Feng and Old Ing changed. It wasn't because of how tempting the ninth prince was, but because they could clearly feel the ninth prince's determination. Ninth prince, you? Old Ing became impatient. He felt that the ninth prince was being too impulsive. How could he make such a promise so easily? The promise of a prince was small, but it wasn't small when it was the promise of a sacred emperor. Give me some time to think. You guys can go back first. Looking at the ninth prince's determined eyes, Zhao Feng seemed to see himself in Sun Feather City and the Broken Moon Clan, and he gave this reply. Okay, there's still 4 years left. I'll leave a spot for Brother Zhao. The ninth prince revealed a joyful expression. Old Ing shook his head. He didn't think that it was very likely that Zhao Feng would agree. In the inner pavilion after the ninth prince left, by Qingyue, is what Old Ing said about the dimension true? Is there anything you're hiding? Zhao Feng asked. He didn't know much about this. Master, you might not know this, but Old Ing used to be an upper echelon member of the Imperial Skynet, and the ninth prince is from the Imperials. His understanding of the imperial tombs far surpasses the ocean smoke pavilion's intelligence. I haven't found anything suspicious yet, Bai Qingwei replied honestly. Imperial Skynet? Zhao Feng was surprised. The Imperial Skynet was the #1 intelligence organization in the Great Gonlor dynasty. It had the Imperials and the Grand Imperial Hall behind it, and it had infiltrated almost every corner of the Lord dynasty. However, I suggest that Master participate in the battle to become Crown Prince and assist that prince. It's better for Master to decide for himself. Bai Qingwei said. Zhao Feng was the Grand Elder of the Ocean Smoke Pavilion, so she needed Zhao Feng's permission to participate in the battle to become Crown Prince. Supreme Emperor Dark Knight sat in a corner within the misty spatial world and consolidated his cultivation in preparation to become a sacred lord. Master! Supreme Emperor Dark Knight opened his eyes and stood up. I have something for you to do. Please tell me, Master. Supreme Emperor Dark Knight revealed a surprised expression. This was the first time Zhao Feng had given him a mission. Go back to Black Screen Corner and bring your elite subordinates, Zhao Feng said calmly. Okay, I'll go immediately. Supreme Emperor Dark Knight was excited. It looked like Master had already started to plan an assassin organization. This was something he had always wanted to do. After giving the order, Zhao Feng fell into deep thought. Looks like I need to go to the Duanmu family, Zhao Feng murmured. However, the prerequisite for Zhao Feng to leave was that the Ocean Smoke Pavilion had to have a sacred lord, or else he wouldn't be at ease. Earth Spirit Hall might have received news that a sacred lord had been killed, so they wouldn't dare to do anything to him for now. Once Zhao Feng went into the continent zone, who knew how long it would take for him to return? It was very likely that Earth Spirit Hall would take action against the Ocean Smoke Pavilion. It all depended on whether or not Old Monster Su could successfully become a sacred lord. Otherwise, he could only wait for Supreme Emperor Dark Knight to become a sacred lord. Gold. Zhao Feng glanced at the purple hair that floated to the side. There were 3 or 4 strands of golden hair that were very eye-catching. Chapter 908. Zhao Feng understood that the god spiritual eye was about to transform. The time needed for the transformation might be longer than usual, so he had to make some preparations. He couldn't be careless. The transformation of the god's spiritual eye was the awakening of the slumbering origin energy of the god eye. Every time it was awakened, the god eye would become stronger. According to past experiences, this kind of metamorphosis was related to Zhao Feng to a certain extent. It was also very accidental and uncontrollable. Zhao Feng was looking forward to what surprises the god's spiritual eye would bring him. Buzz. Zhao Feng's eye intent suddenly sensed something. Zhao Feng raised his head and looked in a certain direction. His expression was one of shock. Old Monster Su has begun. Waving his arm, Zhao Feng's figure suddenly faded and disappeared in a layer of overlapping silvery shadows. In the next instant, in the air above the 10,000 sacred clan, swish, a layer of silver shadow overlapped in the void, and a purple-haired figure appeared, accompanied by a spatial fluctuation. In the forbidden grounds of the 10,000 sacred clan, a ball of purple and gold light floated in the air and started to twist into a giant purple and gold whirlpool. The souls of all the experts and disciples of the 10,000 sacred clan shook, and the blood and true yuan within their bodies started to churn. If it weren't for the fact that the back mountain was far away from the disciples' residences, just a wisp of his aura would be enough to kill a true spirit realm or small origin core realm disciple. Near the back mountain, Great Emperor Ling Xiong was shocked. She said emotionally, I hope the Supreme Elder will succeed this time. The 10,000 sacred clan had been in decline for too long. The Grand Elder is already a quasi-sacred lord, and with the addition of the 100 origin sacred honey, he will definitely succeed. The black-robed emperor's eyes twinkled. Wang Hu, a taboo aura that could suppress all things in the world, came from the purple-gold whirlpool, surging in all directions. The wind and clouds howled, constantly changing. Ling Xiong and the black-robed emperor, who were nearby, felt their true yuan and blood essence go out of control. They had difficulty breathing and couldn't gather their magnificent power. Buzz! A beam of holy light suddenly descended from the gigantic purplish-golden whirlpool. The energy in all directions seemed to be attracted by something as it frantically gathered towards the holy light. The holy light slowly descended upon Old Monster Sue's body. Buzz! Within Old Monster Sue's body, a similar power seemed to resonate and connect with the holy light. The same power whirlpool is connected. The black-robed Great Emperor was overjoyed. Whoosh! The violet-gold whirlpool in the sky seemed to have received some kind of power. It suddenly spun rapidly, and a shocking suction force erupted from it. The heaven-earth yuan qi in a radius of tens of thousands of miles trembled, as if tens of thousands of sects were bowing and gathering. Hoo-hoo! The holy light that connected Old Monster Sue to the purple-gold vortex in the sky flashed with mysterious halos. A soul-stirring, pure, white, holy light poured down from the sky like a golden curtain. Under the holy light, Old Monster Sue entered a strange state. His body turned translucent, and his soul aura grew weaker as if it had completely merged with his body. The powerful might of heaven and earth shook the entire universe. Zhao Feng, who was in the clouds, opened his god's spiritual eye and observed Old Monster Sue's breakthrough. The crystal core within Old Monster Sue's body had turned into a whirlpool of light that was absorbing the mystic light sacred power from the purple-golden whirlpool in the sky. The biggest change was in Old Monster Sue's physical body. The mystic light sacred power had completely changed his physical body. That is, Zhao Feng's god's spiritual eye caught a wisp of darkness, and he smiled faintly. A pair of scarlet wings of lightning appeared on his back, and he instantly arrived where Old Monster Sue was in seclusion. An expert is coming. The black-robed Great Emperor was startled, and his magnificent power spread out. No, that's Zhao Feng. Emperor Ling Qiong quickly stopped him. Old Monster Sue had told them about the 100-origin sacred honey before. They couldn't believe that Old Monster Sue was willing to be Zhao Feng's servant. However, they weren't against it. 100 years wasn't much for Mystic Light Realm's sacred lords, let alone someone who was about to die. Once Old Monster Sue became a Mystic Light Realm sacred lord, the 10,000 Sacred Clan had hope of regaining its former glory as a 3-star power. The two of them were slightly grateful towards Zhao Feng. An expert has come to interfere. Isn't that Zhao Feng? King Lu Yun had a puzzled expression. What does he want to do? King Lu Qiong was slightly worried. The image of Zhao Feng slaughtering the experts of Earth Spirit Hall in the 10,000 Sacred Clan was still deeply imprinted in their minds. Slaughtering and crushing, unhindered and disdainful. They couldn't stop what Zhao Feng wanted to do. Zhao Feng, why is he here to stop Grand Elder from breaking through? The black-robed youth was stunned. Zhao Feng, what are you doing? Emperor Ling Qiong asked as she saw Zhao Feng approach Old Monster Sue. She didn't believe that Zhao Feng was here to stop Old Monster Sue's breakthrough. But Zhao Feng was quickly approaching Old Monster Sue. Zhao Feng didn't reply, and a purple light started to spin in his left eye. Not good. I've been discovered. The dark light behind him cursed and disappeared. Lightning wings, spatial flash. Whoosh. Zhao Feng's speed increased dramatically, and he turned into a scarlet arc of lightning that flashed through the air. In the next instant, his figure appeared 1,000 miles away. Scarlet wings of lightning surrounded him, and the magnificent power of heaven and earth spread out, locking down heaven and earth. Sacred lightning dominating body. Whoosh! Zhao Feng's body grew taller and released a layer of golden blue lightning. He was like a golden tower of lightning that suppressed everything. Boom! A loud explosion sounded in the air. A figure squeezed out from a dark streak of light in front of him. He had a pale and skinny body, dark circles under his eyes, and blood dripped from his mouth. Mental energy spike. A dark purple spike of lightning shot into the skinny male's soul, and the power of God tribulation lightning flashed as it exploded. Arc! The skinny male screamed in despair as his soul trembled. Zhao Feng waved his arm, and the fat cloud silkworm Saint Butterfly appeared above the male's head. The cloud silkworm Saint Butterfly quickly flapped its wings, and a layer of half-transparent pollen landed on the male's body and entered his soul. The skinny male's body went numb, and he lost control of his true yuan. Gaze of the god eye. The purple whirlpool in Zhao Feng's left eye started to spin. A forbidden power covered the area in front of him. Soon, the translucent human-shaped soul began to separate from the withered body. The skinny male's eyes were filled with fear as he tried to struggle. However, the power of God Tribulation Lightning, the soul attack, and the dream pollen were still there, so he couldn't resist at all. Whoosh! The skinny male soul was taken into the dimension of Zhao Feng's left eye. Zhao Feng's soul intent was now extremely close to his sacred lord, and his soul attacks were comparable to his sacred lord's. His sacred lightning body had reached the peak 5th level, and even emperors with a low state of existence would be suppressed. The existence of the god's spiritual eye completely countered assassin-type experts, and their escape techniques were unable to escape. The skinny male was an unrivaled emperor, but he wasn't even able to last for a moment against Zhao Feng's full strength. All of this happened in less than 5 breaths. An unrivaled emperor was killed in just 5 breaths. Emperor Ling Xiong and the black-robed male stood on the side with dazed expressions. Zhao Feng had only left the 10,000 sacred clan for a short period of time, but he had already grown to such a level. After the shock, they both felt lucky. They had been standing guard for Old Monster Su. However, there had been a powerful assassin hiding not far from Old Monster Su, and they had not noticed him at all. If it wasn't for the fact that Zhao Feng was here, Old Monster Su would have died when he tried to break through to the mystic light realm. The two emperors immediately arrived, and Emperor Ling Xiong said with a faint smile, "Thank you, Zhao Feng." The black-robed emperor revealed an apologetic expression. He had almost stopped Zhao Feng just then. "I obviously won't ignore the safety of my servant," Zhao Feng said as he inspected Old Monster Su. The two were speechless. Although this was the truth, they still felt uncomfortable when they heard someone call a grand elder of the 10,000 sacred clan a servant. At this moment, the purple and golden whirlpool above the clouds started to slow down. All of the holy power that was as pure as ribbons of light was completely infused into Old Monster Su's body. Old Monster Su's body started to glow with a sacred light, and he seemed like a god. The phenomena started to disappear. Old Monster Su suddenly opened his eyes after a while. One boom. A majestic aura swept out in all directions like a storm. The existence of this aura ruled over everything in the world, and it caused everything in the air to tremble. Zhao Feng and company instantly felt their true yuan, bloodline, soul, intent, and other powers become suppressed. Everything within 1,000 miles came to a standstill. Countless creatures felt suffocated, not even daring to breathe loudly. Every action of a mystic light realm, sacred lord, contained the laws of heaven and earth and their comprehension of the origin. Ling Xiong and the black-robed emperor were almost injured due to being caught off guard. Old Monster Su. Zhao Feng broke the silence and walked forward. Old Monster Su had just become a sacred lord, and he was much weaker than the 9 Darkness demonic lord. Now that Zhao Feng's cultivation had increased and his sacred lightning body had reached the peak 5th level, he had a strong resistance against the magnificent power of sacred lords. Old Monster Su slowly withdrew his aura and smiled. "Zhao Feng, this old man will remember your kindness." He had been stuck at the level of an emperor for several thousand years, and his dream was to become a mystic light realm sacred lord. All of this was because of Zhao Feng's arrival. Just now, Zhao Feng had saved his life once more. Although he was focused on breaking through to the mystic light realm, he could still sense what was happening in the outside world. "Come with me first." Zhao Feng was slightly tired as he placed one hand on Old Monster Su's shoulder and disappeared into the air with a flash of silver. A disturbance in space. Zhao Feng and Old Monster Su appeared above the ocean smoke pavilion. This was the first time they had used spatial travel with a sacred lord, and the amount of energy they expended was more than 10 times greater than before. Within the meeting hall, now that you've broken through to the mystic light realm, we'll start doing what we talked about last time in the 10,000 Sacred Clan. You could discuss the specifics with Bai Qingyue, Zhao Feng said slowly as he became more tired. Zhao Feng then told him his plan. First, he wanted to dominate the coastal area. The specifics still needed to be discussed. After Supreme Emperor Dark Knight returned, they would start to expand their forces. In the future, listen to Bai Qingyue's orders. Zhao Feng waved his hand, and a skinny male appeared. Understood, master. The skinny male stood behind Bai Qingyue. Bai Qingyue's heart shook. Zhao Feng had managed to enslave an unrivaled emperor in just one trip, and he even gave her orders. She couldn't help but feel warmth in her heart. He's an assassin hired by Earth Spirit Hall. Old Monster Su, don't do anything rash. Also, stay in the Ocean Smoke Pavilion while I'm in seclusion, Zhao Feng said. Understood, master. Old Monster Su's expression changed slightly. He understood that if Zhao Feng's initial goal was to dominate the coastal area, then Earth Spirit Hall wouldn't exist. Zhao Feng felt that he couldn't open his left eye after giving the order. He entered the secret room and activated the restrictions before falling asleep. Chapter 909. Meow Meow. The little thieving cat jumped out of the misty spatial world and sat on Zhao Feng's shoulder, then sighed and shook its head. It seemed to be saying that its unreliable master had fallen asleep again. Ever since Zhao Feng had traded the cloud silkworm Saint Butterfly with Duke Nanfeng, the little thieving cat wasn't as bored in the misty spatial world. The cloud silkworm Saint Butterfly had even become the little thieving cat's lackey and listened to everything it said. Now that Zhao Feng had fallen asleep, it couldn't bring its lackey, so it had to protect Zhao Feng. It was also responsible for raising all sorts of treasures and the 5 poisoned distinct bees. The little thieving cat felt a lot of pressure. Ding! Ding! The little thieving cat threw out a bronze coin, and it landed on its paws with a crisp jingle. The little thieving cat went crazy when it saw it, and its black eyes were filled with helplessness. Meow meow. The little thieving cat meowed at Zhao Feng, as if it was saying that he would make it up to him after he woke up. You're the assassin ranked 32nd in black screen corner, Emperor Withered Shadow? Old Monster Su's heart shook when he found out who the skinny male was. He didn't expect Earth Spirit Hall to hire such a powerful assassin to stop him from breaking through to the mystic light realm. Furthermore, Emperor Withered Shadow had been hiding when he broke through to the mystic light realm last time. However, after realizing that Old Monster Su was destined to fail, he didn't do anything. Thinking up to there, Old Monster Su felt lucky that his luck was good. Earth Spirit Hall, I will take revenge. Hatred flashed through Old Monster Su's eyes. Zhao Feng's goal was to dominate the coastline, so he obviously wouldn't let Earth Spirit Hall go. Now that Old Monster Su had broken through to the mystic light realm, the 10,000 Sacred Clan regained its glory as a 3-star power. Old Monster Su followed Zhao Feng's orders and spent most of his time in the Ocean Smoke Pavilion. He needed time to familiarize himself with the power of a mystic light. He left the management of the 10,000 Sacred Clan to the other 2 emperors. Everyone could feel the change in the 10,000 Sacred Clan. Only some of the more experienced upper echelon members knew the true reason, and they couldn't do anything about it. The disciples of the 10,000 Sacred Clan felt that the 10,000 Sacred Clan and the Ocean Smoke Pavilion were working together, and the 10,000 Sacred Clan would return to its former glory. A surge of hot blood reverberated in the chests of these young disciples. Meanwhile, in the Ocean Smoke Pavilion, now that Bai Qingyue had a top-tier assassin protecting her, she became much bolder and more decisive, allowing the Ocean Smoke Pavilion to develop quickly. With Zhao Feng's support and the help of the 10,000 Sacred Clan's members, Zhao Feng's strength had increased significantly. In just half a year, the Ocean Smoke Pavilion's foundation wasn't any weaker than a 3-star power, but they didn't have a Sacred Lord. After another half a year, Supreme Emperor Dark Knight returned with a team of elite subordinates from Black Screen Corner. Among them, there were 2 Great Emperors, 8 Kings, and the rest were Great Origin Core or Half-Step Kings. They were all experts in intelligence, gathering, and assassination. Overall, it was a rather powerful elite team. Thus, the assassination organization was established. Supreme Emperor Dark Knight was temporarily in charge of the island region next to the Misty Moon Island region. Emperor Withered Shadow, why are you here? Supreme Emperor Dark Knight returned to the Ocean Smoke Pavilion and was surprised to run into an acquaintance. They were both top-tier assassins of Black Screen Corner, and their rankings weren't far apart. They obviously interacted with each other and often exchanged information. Emperor Withered Shadow was also surprised, and he immediately said, "Master gave me a chance to change. I didn't expect you to stop Duke Nanfeng from breaking through and never return. So, you became Master's servant. Master can fulfill my ambitions. If we work together, we'll create an assassination organization that's only weaker than Black Screen Corner," Supreme Emperor Dark Knight said with ambition. "I don't care about that. I only like to assassinate." Emperor Withered Shadow revealed a cold and murderous expression. Within the core's secret hall of the Earth Spirit Hall in the Island Zone, the Ocean Smoke Pavilion has teamed up with the 10,000 Sacred Clan. Furthermore, the intelligence agents of the Ocean Smoke Pavilion have been very active in the coastal areas recently. They don't put Earth Spirit Hall in their eyes at all. Most of the roars came from domain-level kings, and some are even peak-tier kings and emperors. An elder in dark blue robes floated in the air. He was covered in a mystic light, and his eyes were closed. Reporting to Grand Elder, Zhao Feng killed 2 emperors and 16 void god realm kings of Earth Spirit Hall. If it wasn't for the fact that Duke Nanfeng stopped him, even I wouldn't have been able to return, the golden-robed Emperor Zhang Xiandong said in embarrassment. Now that Zhao Feng's force has teamed up with the 10,000 Sacred Clan, which just became a 3-star power, they definitely want to fight back against Earth Spirit Hall. Grand Elder, please make the decision. The elder floating in the air suddenly opened his eyes. He didn't expect something like this to happen right after he came out of seclusion. A group of Void God Realm experts from Earth Spirit Hall had been slaughtered by a junior. If this spread, what face would Earth Spirit Hall have left? If the 10,000 Sacred Clan wanted to rise, did they ask Earth Spirit Hall for permission? An invisible, magnificent power caused the entire dimension to tremble. The secret hall was deathly silent. Many domain-level kings felt their blood freeze, and they found it hard to breathe. Earth Spirit Hall is the true ruler of this area. Sacred Lord Sky Splitter snickered coldly, and the invisible pressure made the hearts of all the experts shake. The elders of Earth Spirit Hall were originally planning to send an even stronger group of unrivaled emperors to kill Zhao Feng. However, they heard that Old Monster Su had become a sacred lord and was personally guarding the Ocean Smoke Pavilion. They could only give up and wait for Sacred Lord Sky Splitter to come out of seclusion. Now that Sacred Lord Sky Splitter was so angry, they knew that the elders would personally take action. Reporting to Grand Elder, Zhao Feng from the Ocean Smoke Pavilion has been in seclusion for a year, but Old Monster Su, who has become a sacred lord, is guarding the place. A peak emperor below warned. Furthermore, Zhao Feng and Duke Nanfeng have always been close, and Duke Nanfeng has become a sacred lord as well. Duke Nanfeng has become a sacred lord? Sacred Lord Sky Splitter's expression changed. If it was just Old Monster Su who had just broken through, he wouldn't put him in his eyes, but Duke Nanfeng was an Imperials and had become a sacred lord. If he came to protect Zhao Feng, Sacred Lord Sky Splitter wouldn't be able to do anything. However, Zhao Feng had killed 2 emperors and dozens of kings from Earth Spirit Hall. If Zhao Feng was let go, how would Earth Spirit Hall continue to dominate the area? He also heard that Zhao Feng had benefited the most from the Divine Illusion Dimension, and he had obtained substandard god weapons, the God-slaying arrow, and the misty spatial world. Zhao Feng, I will personally take action if he kills someone from Earth Spirit Hall, Sacred Lord Sky Splitter said in a serious tone. After saying that, He disappeared into the dark secret hall. The elders within the secret hall were excited. Some of them had survived Zhao Feng's massacre. I must talk to Duke Nanfeng, but before that, Sacred Lord Sky Splitter turned into a ball of light and flew into the limitless ocean. 3 months later, in a ghost fog forest, an old voice sounded in Sacred Lord Sky Splitter's soul before he even arrived. What are you doing here instead of guarding Earth's Spirit Hall? Old ghost, of course I have something good to tell you, Sacred Lord Sky Splitter said with a smile as he floated into the depths of the ghost fog forest. In a dark and strange forest, there was a simple and crude wooden house. A stream flowed through it, but there was not a single living being within a radius of 10,000 miles. If you have something to say, just say it. Don't beat around the bush, an elder that looked like a withered tree said slowly. It's been a few hundred years, but you're still the same. Sacred Lord Sky Splitter revealed a faint smile. He understood Old Ghost's personality, so he told him the purpose of his visit. He didn't have much confidence in negotiating with Duke Nanfeng alone, especially now that Duke Nanfeng had broken through to the mystic light realm. If Old Ghost was here, he believed that Duke Nanfeng wouldn't offend 2 sacred lords and the forces behind them for a junior. He could also destroy the 10,000 sacred clan. In the coastal region, only one 3-star sect was needed. Old Ghost had a weird expression as his eyes twinkled as he stared at Sacred Lord Sky Splitter. Negotiate with Duke Nanfeng, kill a sacred lord from the 10,000 sacred clan, and capture a Void God Realm Jr. Haha, nothing escapes your eyes. Sacred Lord Sky Splitter spread his hands and laughed. There's no need for a Mystic Light Realm Sacred Lord to take action against a normal Void God Realm Jr. That junior is Zhao Feng, right? Old Ghost laughed coldly. After the Divine Illusion Dimension ended, a lot of news still entered his ears. After all, the Divine Illusion Dimension this time was different from the past. That's right. The 2 of us should go and negotiate with Duke Nanfeng first. I'm sure that he'll give us some face, and then we'll kill old monster Su, Sacred Lord Sky Splitter suggested with a grim expression. Old Ghost's eyes spun as he revealed a deadly expression. I only want half of what's on Zhao Feng. Far away in the center of the continent zone, in the royal family of the Great Gon dynasty, the majestic buildings were enveloped in the vast fortune of the dynasty. In the luxurious and magnificent hall, the 13th prince had an excited expression. Mother, is this true? Why would I lie to you? Your father is already engaged to the grand elder of the Duanmu family. In front of the 13th prince was a peerless female wearing a gold and silver robe and a golden crown. She had a doting smile on her face. A majestic middle-aged male next to her walked over. Chen, this is all because of your mother. She mentioned your love for Zhao Yufei many times in front of the sacred emperor. Thank you, mother. Zhou Chun was overjoyed. He could even imagine his beloved Zhao Yufei shyly jumping into his embrace. Also, because of this, many other forces have joined our faction and supported Chen. The majestic male's eyes twinkled. Zhou Chen knew what his uncle was implying. Chen, it will not disappoint mother and uncle's high hopes. I'm 90% confident that I will be able to become the crown prince. Even 4th brother might not be my match. Zhou Chen's eyes were spirited as he said confidently. Ha ha, it looks like Chen has secretly recruited a powerful helper. The majestic male's expression changed, and then he laughed. The 4th prince was the oldest prince and one of the most popular candidates for the crown prince position. His talent was shocking, and he had been preparing for the crown prince position for almost 100 years. Since Zhou Chen dared to say something like this, it meant that he was very confident. At the same time, in another prince's palace in the Lord dynasty, a young man in a golden robe with an extraordinary bearing was pacing back and forth. Damn it, Imperial Father actually dotes on Zhou Chen so much that he even arranged a marriage with the Duanmu clan. Isn't this clearly telling the Duanmu clan to stand behind Zhou Chen? The young man's eyes were like lightning as he loudly roared. 7th Prince, please calm down. This is something that can't be helped. The current Divine Empress is the 13th Prince's mother, A man in white scholarly robes with a jade-white face said softly in front of the seventh prince. However, this is only giving the 13th prince a higher starting point. The crown prince battle isn't about who has more supporters. Chapter 9:10. Tianfeng Great Island Zone. Two figures, one white and one black, surrounded by sacred power, flew through the air and soon arrived at the Duke's palace. Sacred Lord Sky Splitter, an old ghost, floated in the clouds above the Duke's palace and released two terrifying auras. Who, in an instant, countless beings within several thousand miles of the Duke's palace felt suffocated and froze. Duke Nanfeng isn't here? Sacred Lord Sky Splitter scanned with his divine sense and revealed a surprised expression. Two sacred lords have come to the Duke's palace. I'm the captain of the guards. How can I help you? A peak-tier king in golden robes from the guards of the Duke's palace slowly flew up against the pressure from the two sacred lords. This male was extremely uneasy. He had never seen two sacred lords come to the Duke's palace ever since he joined the guards. Only one sacred lord of the demonic Tao had come a while ago. He didn't know what was going on, but experts at the Emperor realm and above kept coming to the Duke's palace. Where did Duke Nanfeng go? Sacred Lord Sky Splitter was surrounded by sacred light, and he was like a god looking down on the world as he spoke. The general in golden robes felt an invisible pressure that made it hard for him to breathe and make him lose consciousness. Duke Nanfeng went to the inner regions of the Lord dynasty several days ago. The two sacred lords looked at each other. They were first surprised, but then they revealed a wicked smile. Duke Nanfeng wasn't here? This meant that the two of them didn't feel any pressure at all. Duke Nanfeng wouldn't do anything to them after Zhao Feng died. At the same time, regret flashed through Sacred Lord Sky Splitter's eyes. If Duke Nanfeng had left earlier, he wouldn't have gone to find Old Ghost. Now that everything was much easier, he would have to give away half of Zhao Feng's treasures. After the two sacred lords left, the general in golden robes took a deep breath and returned to the Duke's palace. On the way back, Old Ghost suddenly thought of something and asked, I remember that the Ocean Smoke Pavilion is a subordinate force of Nine Darkness Palace. Why did Nine Darkness Palace do anything when Zhao Feng swallowed the Ocean Smoke Pavilion? Nine Darkness Palace used to be a 4-star power. Although it had declined, it was still a peak 3-star power and was one of the leading forces of the demonic Tao. Even if he had more guts, Old Ghost wouldn't dare to have any thoughts about the Nine Nether Palace. Sacred Lord Sky Splitter had just come out of seclusion, so he didn't know much, but he still acted like he didn't need to worry. Nine Darkness Palace is in the depths of the continent and can't do anything to the ocean. Furthermore, I heard that Nine Darkness Palace's eyes are all on Nan Gongsheng, who has the power of the evil god. Old Ghost couldn't help but be surprised when Nan Gongsheng was mentioned. Unbelievable. Nan Gongsheng was able to inherit the power of a god. Old Ghost sighed in his heart. He had broken through to the mystic light realm 10,000 years ago, but he was still stuck at the early stages of the mystic light realm. But an ordinary King Realm Jr. was able to obtain the power of a divine throne. What a lucky chance. If he could comprehend a wisp of divine power, he would probably be able to break through to the middle stages of the mystic light realm immediately. So what if you have the power of God? Sacred Lord Sky Splitter snickered coldly and felt a bit annoyed. However, when he thought of the benefits that Zhao Feng had, he became excited. There were many resources, legendary ores, and 2 substandard god weapons within the ancient mysterious palace. Sacred Lord Sky Splitter's eyes spun as he said, Old Ghost, you deal with old monster Su while I control Zhao Feng. We can't give him the chance to use the misty spatial world. Okay, Old Ghost agreed on the surface, but he knew what Sacred Lord Sky Splitter was thinking. The misty spatial world was a support type item that didn't have high requirements for the user. As long as one obtained it, they could use it. If Zhao Feng used the misty spatial world to escape, they wouldn't be able to catch up. However, the god-slaying arrow was different. A measly king wouldn't be able to use it. Even initial-stage Mystic Light Realm kings could only use half of the power of a substandard god weapon. Several months later, in the Misty Moon Island zone, the Ocean Smoke Pavilion was much bigger than before, and there was an endless stream of members. Bai Qingwe would spend a lot of time in the information hall every day and read the latest news. The earlier the information was known, the more valuable it was. This was the slogan of almost all the intelligence agencies. A limitless magnificent power suddenly covered the entire Water Bay sacred land. This power seemed to change heaven and earth and make everything bow down to it. All the members of the Ocean Smoke Pavilion felt like they were suffocating from this power. Those whose cultivation wasn't even a king spat out a mouthful of blood. Old Devil Sue's expression was one of shock as he immediately charged out. He looked at the black and white balls of light in the distance, and his expression was one of shock. Two sacred lords. One of them was Sacred Lord Sky Splitter from Earth Spirit Hall, and the other Sacred Lord's aura was extremely weird. His aura was even stronger than Sacred Lord Sky Splitter's. Old Monster Sue revealed a bitter smile. He didn't think that his first battle after breaking through to the Mystic Light Realm would be like this. Bai Qingwe took a deep breath and quickly came out with the other two emperors of the Ocean Smoke Pavilion. Their hearts dropped when they saw the image of the sun and moon in the sky. Sacred Lord Sky Splitter's divine sense spread out and found where Zhao Feng was. Wasn't Zhao Feng in seclusion? Why was he sleeping? At the same time, Old Ghost also sensed Zhao Feng, who was still sleeping. I can feel a powerful surge of power awakening in his left eye. Old Ghost snickered coldly and messaged. Sacred Lord Sky Splitter gave a wicked smile. Then we'll make sure he never wakes up. Old Monster Sue slowly floated into the air and blocked the aura of a Sacred Lord for the members of the Ocean Smoke Pavilion. Sacred Lord Sky Splitter, you're a Sacred Lord, but you're attacking a junior? Those who want to achieve great things don't care about the small things. Sacred Lord Sky Splitter didn't bother talking to Old Monster Sue. He circulated the mystic light sacred power within his body and was about to attack. Old Ghost looked down at everyone on the side. There was no need for him to do anything. However, Old Ghost's expression suddenly changed, and he immediately turned around. Whoosh! A ball of green light shot over like a meteor, and its aura clashed with them. The expressions of Old Ghost and Sacred Lord Sky Splitter changed slightly as they felt the enmity from the other party. At the same time, all the members of the Ocean Smoke Pavilion were stunned. The auras of the three Sacred Lords made them feel as if heaven and earth was about to shatter. At this moment, three Sacred Lords had descended upon the Ocean Smoke Pavilion. All the members fell into despair. Even a normal 3-star power wouldn't be able to fight back against three Sacred Lords. A male with snow-white hair and starry eyes walked out from the green light. His appearance could be said to be perfect. With a sweep of his spiritual sense, he cast a profound gaze toward the place where Zhao Feng was sleeping. Old Su and Bai Qingwe looked at each other. They felt that this Sacred Lord didn't seem to be an enemy. Maybe they still had hope. I am Sacred Lord Sky Splitter from Earth Spirit Hall. Who are you? Sacred Lord Sky Splitter stood next to Old Ghost and asked. The aura of this Sacred Lord in front of him was not simple. However, even if this Sacred Lord was here to help the Ocean Smoke Pavilion, he wasn't scared. After all, this person seemed to be a wood elemental Sacred Lord and didn't specialize in fighting. Duanmu Qing of the Duanmu family, one of the 8 big families, the white-haired male said. He wasn't scared of the auras of 2 emperors at all. 8 big families? The expressions of Sacred Lord Sky Splitter and Old Ghost paused, and their auras instantly weakened. The 8 big families were ancient families of the Great Gon Lord dynasty. They were extremely influential and had countless connections with the Lord dynasty. Even the Duanmu family, which was ranked at the bottom, wasn't something a 3-star power could be compared to. On top of that, this was the Earth Spirit Hall of a normal 3-star power. Old Monster Su and Bai Qingwe were even more shocked. They didn't expect this Sacred Lord to be from one of the 8 big families. Could their master be related to the 8 big families? May I know why Sacred Lord Duanmu is here? Sacred Lord Sky Splitter asked with a faint smile. If the other party was a Sacred Lord of the Duanmu family and wanted the benefits from Zhaofeng, then there was still room for negotiation. Old Ghost's expression became grim, but there was nothing he could do. I'm just here to find my disciple. Duanmu Qing looked at the two as his white hair blew in the wind. Disciple. Sacred Lord Sky Splitter paused for a moment. From the moment Duanmu Qing arrived until now, he realized that Duanmu Qing's divine sense had been observing Zhaofeng. Therefore, he thought that Duanmu Qing also wanted the benefits from Zhaofeng. He didn't expect Duanmu Qing to be here to find his disciple. Disciple? Sacred Lord Sky Splitter's mouth twitched, and he was speechless. Could Zhaofeng be the disciple of a Sacred Lord from the Duanmu family? How is that possible? How did Zhaofeng have a relationship with the Duanmu family? Why didn't the people from Earth Spirit Hall tell him about such important news? If they attacked Zhaofeng, they would be offending the Duanmu family. That's right. My disciple's name is Zhaofeng. Duanmu Qing said confidently as he arrived next to Old Monster Su and looked at Sacred Lord Sky Splitter and Old Ghost. Old Monster Su was overjoyed. He didn't expect his master to have a relationship with the Duanmu family. Bai Qingyue let out a breath and became even more respectful towards her master. Many of the people below who were still conscious were shocked awake, and their expressions were filled with excitement. Grand Elder, it's someone from the Duanmu family. That's one of the 8 big families of the Great Gon Lord dynasty. The Duanmu family has sent a Sacred Lord to save us. Sacred Lord Sky Splitter and Old Ghost had ugly expressions as they stood there in a daze. If they were to fight, they would definitely have the advantage. However, they couldn't do anything. They didn't dare to do anything. We're just passing by. We won't disturb you any longer. Farewell, Sacred Lord Duanmu. The 2 Sacred Lords looked at each other and sighed helplessly. In the end, they gave up and prepared to leave. At this moment, Zhaofeng's head turned to the side, and his golden hair floated in the air. An invisible golden ripple spread out in all directions, permeating the void and extending endlessly. This golden ripple didn't seem to be true yuan or soul intent. It passed through the bodies of everyone present. All the experts trembled slightly, and their hearts were filled with shock and doubt. The instant the golden ripples swept past them, they felt as if all of their secrets had been exposed, and they were holding nothing back. The 2 Sacred Lords looked deeply at where Zhaofeng was in seclusion and quickly left. Everyone from the Ocean Smoke Pavilion let out a breath and were overjoyed. Duanmu Qing slowly descended and said, "After this evolution, Zhaofeng's god, I will become even stronger." Chapter 9:11. Duanmu Qing slowly descended and looked at the secret hall where Zhaofeng was sleeping. He said in a gratified tone, "After this transformation, Zhaofeng's god, I will become even stronger." Back at the Mystic True Sacred Clan, Duanmu Qing had personally witnessed how strong Zhaofeng's left eye became after evolved. Even Zhao Yufei, who had the power of her little world and the help of the purple Saint Partial Spirit, couldn't fight back against his eye bloodline and soul techniques. However, the energy fluctuation that Zhaofeng unintentionally released earlier did not seem like a soul. However, it penetrated through matter and did not contain any laws or profundities. Duanmu Qing could not figure it out. Last time, when Zhaofeng's god eye evolved, his soul intent strengthened. I wonder what will happen this time. Duanmu Qing smiled warmly, full of anticipation. "Sacred Lord Duanmu, please come in." Bai Qingyue quickly went forward and didn't dare to be careless. This Sacred Lord was a member of the Duanmu family and master's master. He even saved the Ocean Smoke Pavilion in the nick of time. Sacred Lord Sky Splitter and the other Sacred Lord were forced to leave. Although they were both Sacred Lords, Old Monster Su could only follow behind Duanmu Qing. "Sacred Lord Duanmu, your disciple is still in seclusion," Bai Qingyue said with an apologetic smile. "How long has he been asleep?" Duanmu Qing asked. "Almost a year and a half." Bai Qingwei replied honestly. Duan Muqing was slightly stunned. He did not expect Zhao Feng to be asleep for so long already. The last time he was asleep was only a few months ago. I will wait here for Zhao Feng to wake up. After that, Duan Muqing moved in. All the members of the Ocean Smoke Pavilion felt that their future was bright. Now that the Ocean Smoke Pavilion had formed a relationship with the 8 great clans, there wouldn't be any power that could hinder the Ocean Smoke Pavilion's development in this region. A surge of hot blood burned in the chests of these young disciples. Sacred Lord Sky Splitter and Old Ghost were enraged after leaving. Wherever they went, storms started to appear, and it was as if heaven and earth were about to shatter. You old bastard, in the future, before you do anything, you must first investigate thoroughly. Old Ghost's eyes were cold, and a sinister aura spread out as he left angrily. After all, he lived alone in seclusion. On the other hand, Sacred Lord Sky Splitter was in his own clan and had his own intelligence agency, but he was still so clueless. Sacred Lord Sky Splitter was enraged after returning to Earth Spirit Hall, and the entire Earth Spirit Hall started to panic. Most people didn't know why the Grand Elder was so angry. Emperor Lightspeed, go and find out everything about Zhao Feng. Sacred Lord Sky Splitter's battle power rose into the air as he spoke with anger. Below, a young martial monarch knelt on the ground, trembling. Under the Sacred Master's rage, he felt as if a thunderstorm was exploding all around him, and he was already half a step into the gates of hell. Yes, Grand Elder, I will definitely find out everything about Zhao Feng, Lightburst Monarch said in a trembling voice. 3 months later, Sacred Lord Sky Splitter received a report, and his heart shook when he scanned it with his divine sense. After Zhang Xiandong of the Earth Spirit Hall left, the Emperor of the Tai family actually came to the 10,000 Sacred Clan. He has the bloodline of the Tai family. Sacred Lord Sky Splitter's heart shook. The 8 great clans again. The strength of the Tai family was at the peak of the 8 great families, and it was comparable to a peak 3-star power. The 9 Darkness demonic lord of 9 Darkness Palace came to the Duke's palace and took Zhao Feng away. Sacred Lord Sky Splitter's expression turned from surprise to shock. A Sacred Lord of 9 Darkness Palace had come to the edge of the island zone, but they only found out about such important information now. This intelligence agency was a bunch of trash. That wasn't even the main point. There were signs of a battle between the 9 Darkness demonic lord and Zhao Feng. In the end, Zhao Feng returned, and the 9 Darkness demonic lord disappeared. The floating piece of information turned into dust. Time slowly passed. Duan Muqing lived in the Ocean Smoke Pavilion, which wasn't far from where Zhao Feng was in seclusion. He would use his divine sense to check on Zhao Feng's situation every once in a while. Zhao Feng's body would move every once in a while, even though he was in deep sleep. His faint golden hair was like sacred light, and it gave off an ethereal and otherworldly feeling. Within the dimension of his left eye, Zhao Feng already had a faint consciousness, and he witnessed everything that was happening. At first, a wisp of golden light appeared in the depths of the blue lake, and it made the surface of the lake sparkle. Then, a wisp of faint golden light scattered from it. This faint golden light that suddenly appeared wasn't I intent. Zhao Feng observed it for a long time, but he couldn't tell where it came from. As this light shone on it, a portion of the purple mist above the blue lake started to fade. Although it was very small and weak, Zhao Feng could still feel it. The elements of wind and lightning within the mist started to decrease as well. At first, Zhao Feng was shocked. Could it be that the mutation of his god had decreased the strength of his soul intent? However, as the faint golden light turned from one wisp to 2, and then to 1, more and more of the purple mist disappeared, but he felt that his soul intent wasn't weakened at all. Where did the purple sea of mist go? Zhao Feng could only wait. More and more faint golden light appeared on the surface of the lake, and it formed a complete ray of light that shone on the purple mist. The power of the God Tribulation lightning is disappearing. Zhao Feng couldn't help but exclaim. After all, the purple mist was a product of the mutation of his god eye. so he could accept it disappearing. However, the disappearance of the power of the God Tribulation lightning made Zhao Feng unable to remain calm. The power of the God Tribulation lightning countered everything, but it was disappearing as well. The power of the God Tribulation lightning had always been his trump card, and had been used in countless dangerous battles. Zhao Feng still hoped that it could help him resist the God Tribulation lightning in the future. As time passed, the purple soul sea and the power of the God Tribulation lightning started to disappear. Wait, my soul intent hasn't weakened. Instead, it's a little different. Zhao Feng suddenly realized that something was wrong. His consciousness started to become clearer as the god I mutated. At the start, Zhao Feng could only observe it, but now he could sense it in detail. 20% of the purple soul sea had disappeared, but his soul intent hadn't weakened at all. On the contrary, it had become slightly stronger, but it was very weak. If it wasn't for the weird feeling coming from his soul, Zhao Feng wouldn't have realized this. As he looked at the golden light in the lake become brighter and brighter, he felt as if something was about to float out. On a certain day, the golden light suddenly became stronger, and Zhao Feng could see a ball of twisting light at the bottom of the lake. Duan Muqing's divine sense was constantly inspecting Zhao Feng in the ocean smoke pavilion. At this moment, no one would be able to take their eyes off Zhao Feng. His faint golden hair radiated a faint golden light that would make even sacred lords surprised. Even the mysterious little thieving cat wasn't able to escape. As this light seeped into its body, it felt uncomfortable and entered the misty, spatial world. From the looks of it, Zhao Feng's god, I is about to awaken its true power. Duan Muqing couldn't help but sigh. Otherwise, Zhao Feng wouldn't have slept for so long. Within the dimension of his left eye, Zhao Feng's consciousness was dazed as he stared at the golden ball on the surface of the blue lake. It was limitless and transparent, like the golden sun in the dimension of his left eye. It radiated an ancient aura that didn't change, but gave Zhao Feng a familiar feeling. The golden ball was smooth and gave off a faint golden light that could pierce through everything. It passed through the ocean of mist and landed at the bottom of the blue lake. The purple mist above the lake started to disappear at a speed several times faster than before. A whirlpool suddenly formed on the surface of the blue lake above the golden ball. Whoosh! The blue lake flowed along the whirlpool, and streams of water continuously seeped into the golden ball and disappeared. A numbing pain suddenly swept through his soul, and Zhao Feng groaned. My soul! Zhao Feng focused all his senses on his soul and was stunned. He found that his soul was becoming more and more condensed. Occasionally, a bolt of lightning would flash across it. However, Zhao Feng could immediately tell that it wasn't normal lightning. It was God Tribulation lightning. Could it be that the purple mist and the power of God Tribulation lightning merged into my soul? Zhao Feng couldn't calm down. Although the purple soul sea originally came from the blue lake, the power of God Tribulation lightning merged into his soul. However, the power of God Tribulation lightning merged into his soul. Zhao Feng could only say that it was unbelievable. He suddenly remembered that there was similar information in his memories. Apart from bloodlines and bodies, there was also a very rare soul body. Its rarity wasn't any lower than the bloodlines of the 10,000 ancient races. Because this kind of soul body was extremely rare and couldn't be researched, there were both good and bad cases. Some people even thought of it as a disease of the soul, so it wasn't widely known. A soul body was something that one was born with. Zhao Feng wasn't sure if his soul was a special soul body. Since he didn't know, Zhao Feng didn't want to think about it. At the very least, he knew that the purple soul sea and the power of God Tribulation lightning hadn't disappeared. However, Zhao Feng couldn't find the wind eye. After an unknown amount of time, the purple soul sea completely disappeared. Only the golden ball and the blue lake remained in the dimension of his left eye. The size of the lake had shrunk to 500 yards, and it was completely absorbed by the golden ball. 400 yards, 300 yards, 100 yards. The blue lake had completely disappeared. It was completely absorbed by the golden ball. The size of the golden ball didn't change at all. Wang, the mysterious golden ball, instantly released a golden ripple that passed through everything. It even passed through this dimension and extended into the outside world. Zhao Feng knew that the evolution was almost over. However, he didn't know what kind of secrets this golden ball had. What did the evolution of the god I bring him? Within a quiet cave in the inner regions of the Great Gone Lord dynasty, a girl in white was currently painting with her eyes closed. She seemed to be hit by a strong force, and her eyes suddenly opened as blood leaked out of the corner of her mouth. This was a pair of eyes that had no pupils, and they seemed to be able to see through everything. Master was right. It really is the ninth god's eye. The girl lowered her head and looked at the painting in her hand. It was of an extremely handsome male with golden hair and golden eyes. His gaze was like amber, and it seemed to be able to see through everything and know all secrets. It was a quiet and secluded sea of green bamboo. An old man was playing chess with an ethereal and tranquil young girl. The elders seemed to be thinking, but he didn't know what to do next. Suddenly, his eyes became dim, as if he had fallen into the cycle of reincarnation in hell. A black line slowly spun in his eyes. Disciple, let's stop here for today. The elder's eyes returned to normal. Master, you will never be my opponent in chess. Hee hee. The young girl smiled calmly. Her beautiful face seemed to cause the hearts of the entire sea of bamboo to sway. Chapter 9:12. Duan Muqing, who was in seclusion, immediately opened his eyes. He had been pierced by the mysterious ripple again, just now. This time, the feeling was even stronger. It was as if everything within his body was being controlled by the mysterious power. Duan Muqing's divine sense scanned toward where Zhao Feng was in seclusion. The light from Zhao Feng's faint golden hair started to fade. The mysterious power also disappeared in an instant. Zhao Feng should be waking up soon. Sigh. Duan Muqing was overjoyed, but when he thought about his goal, he sighed with a complicated expression. Within the dimension of his left eye, there was only a mysterious golden ball that radiated a faint golden ripple. The golden ripple didn't light up the pitch-black dimension too much. Instead, it pierced through the darkness and shone toward an unknown place. The golden ripple, radiating from the golden ball, slowly calmed down. The pitch-black dimension became calm again. Zhao Feng could slowly sense what was happening outside, and he could move his body. Zhao Feng slowly stood up, but he found that he couldn't open his left eye. So heavy. Zhao Feng tried his best to open his left eye. Wang, the golden ball floating within the dimension of his left eye, released a faint golden ripple. Open. The instant his left eye opened, an invisible ripple spread out and covered everything within sight. Zhao Feng was instantly dazed, and his body froze. What's going on? Was this still the world he was in? As far as the eye could see, everything turned from ordinary matter into translucent golden surfaces, lines, and dots. Zhao Feng looked at a certain spot on the wall in front of him. This area rapidly enlarged, turning into countless particles that were densely packed and arranged in an incomparably orderly manner. Zhao Feng's gaze landed on one of the particles. This particle enlarged once again and turned into billions of particles. This is... Zhao Feng took in a deep breath. He could clearly see the countless particles intertwining with each other in a complex pattern, ultimately forming this wall. Sii. Zhao Feng's expression was filled with shock as he thought of a possibility. He suddenly circulated his sacred, lightning body and raised his right hand to inspect it. Who? In his vision, his right hand had turned into a faint golden, transparent palm. Spiritual energy revolved around it, and lightning patterns covered it. Zhao Feng stared at one of the lightning patterns. His field of vision instantly enlarged. He saw countless tiny lightning bolts fusing with each other and connecting with countless wisps of true yuan on his skin. His left eye focused once more on one of the small bolts of lightning. Zoom in. Zhao Feng watched in disbelief as the densely packed particles attached to each other and formed all kinds of structures. These particles formed a structure that eventually formed a tiny lightning bolt. A large amount of information instantly appeared and was stored by the golden ball in the dimension of his left eye. Zhao Feng felt a swelling pain in his left eye, so he closed it to calm his mind. This ability seems to allow me to see through the basic structure of any object. After a long time, Zhao Feng came to a conclusion and was shocked. His left eye could even analyze the particles that made up the lightning. This ability combined vision and X-ray vision, infinitely magnifying it to an unimaginable degree, seeing through the essence of everything. That was to say, for example, a normal drop of dew. From Zhao Feng's point of view, it was a complex building made up of billions of particles. Zhao Feng took a deep breath and slowly calmed himself down. Maybe this wasn't the only use of this ability. Zhao Feng, Duan Muqing, arrived outside the secret hall. Master, Zhao Feng had sensed Duan Muqing's arrival a long time ago, but the change in his left eye attracted his attention. Congratulations, Master, on breaking through to the mystic light realm. Zhao Feng walked out of the secret hall and clasped his fists. After breaking through to the mystic light realm, Duan Muqing's lifespan had increased dramatically, and he looked even more energetic. This is all thanks to you for taking the risk to obtain the 100 origin sacred honey in the ancient mysterious palace. Zhao Yufei told Duan Muqing everything that happened in the divine illusion dimension, including how Zhao Feng had taken over another body and revived. Duan Muqing felt slightly regretful. If it was the Zhao Feng of the past, who knew how much he would have grown? I didn't expect you to kill the Emperor of Death. Duan Muqing sighed in his heart. Even though he had broken through to the mystic light realm, he didn't want to offend the Emperor of Death and an emperor that was even older than him. However, Zhao Feng had chased the Emperor of Death to the point of death and created a legend of the Tsang Ocean. After being chased for 7 years, how could I let him go now that I have the chance? Speaking of the Emperor of Death, Zhao Feng thought back to how he had to run and hide under the shadow of death for 7 years. He had never experienced such humiliation in his life, so how could he just let it go like that? Duan Muqing nodded his head. His disciple had long since surpassed him. Duan Muqing inspected the current Zhao Feng with a praising gaze. He had a head of light golden hair that was as elegant as holy light, golden eyes that seemed to contain all things, and a handsome face that gave off a transcendent aura. When Duan Muqing saw those golden eyes that looked like pure amber, his heart trembled. He felt like all his secrets were laid bare for all to see. Zhao Feng, now that your god eye has mutated, your true strength has probably reached the level of an unrivaled emperor, right? Duan Muqing asked curiously. He had never seen through this disciple of his, whether it was the Zhao Feng of the past or the current Zhao Feng. Zhao Feng's cultivation had just reached the late stages of the Void God realm. His strength was estimated to be an unrivaled emperor, which had increased by 3 ranks. Only the top 5 geniuses on the Imperial Genius rankings had such an evaluation. Currently, Zhao Feng was ranked 8th on the Imperial Genius rankings. However, Duan Muqing believed that Zhao Feng's ranking would be even higher. The mutation of my left eye only gave me a supportive ability. Zhao Feng revealed a faint smile and told Duan Muqing the truth. Although it was a supportive ability, it definitely surpassed his imagination, and Zhao Feng couldn't explain it right now. As for whether or not his left eye had any other new abilities, Zhao Feng hadn't looked into it yet. Master, you must have something else to do after coming all the way here, right? Zhao Feng could see something from Duan Muqing's expression. Indeed, there is something else. Duan Muqing didn't know what to say. Something to do with me? Zhao Feng was puzzled. Something to do with Yufei. Duan Muqing sighed. What's wrong with Yufei? Zhao Feng was puzzled. Zhao Yufei was part of the Duanmu family, one of the 8 big families. What kind of danger would she be in? While I was in seclusion to break through to the mystic light realm, the Grand Elder of the Duanmu family and the Sacred Emperor arranged a marriage between Zhao Yufei and the 13th Prince. Duan Muqing had an enraged expression as he told Zhao Feng everything. The Grand Elder was to blame for all of this. He cared too much about the family and only cared about the benefits at hand. Furthermore, the Sacred Emperor had agreed, and the 13th prince's mother was also the Sacred Empress. This matter had already spread among the members of the royal family. Marriage? Yufei? Zhao Feng stopped thinking for a moment. His emotions were extremely weird. He couldn't describe it, but it was like he was letting go or feeling empty. Zhao Feng knew how much Zhao Yufei loved him. He had always been avoiding it, whether intentionally or not. He needed to follow his heart and find Lu Qinxin. He couldn't go back on his promise, so he had to avoid Yufei's love. He didn't want to fall in love with another woman. This made him feel like he had betrayed Lu Qinxin. However, he might have already fallen in love with another woman. This made him feel like he had hurt Zhao Yufei. Zhao Feng's gods, I wasn't able to see through all of this. His left eye was slightly dazed. Duan Muqing shook his head and sighed. He knew that Zhao Yufei loved Zhao Feng. On the other hand, if it wasn't for the fiancé incident, Zhao Feng might have been together with Zhao Yufei already. Being the middleman, Duan Muqing didn't know what to do. From his point of view, he had a reason for all of this. That was how fate was. It was always confusing. Master, the 13th prince, is arrogant and impulsive. This person isn't suitable for Yufei. Zhao Feng suddenly raised his head with a serious expression. Yufei and I are childhood friends. How can I let her marry such a person? Zhao Feng said again. His tone and expression were abnormally calm. It made others feel like Zhao Feng was very clear-headed at this moment. He commented on the matter with the utmost fairness. Duan Muqing's mouth opened slightly. He had thought about what Zhao Feng might say, but there was no such answer. Duan Muqing couldn't help but laugh. Only Zhao Feng could think of such an answer. Haha, I think so too. How can the 13th prince be worthy of junior sister Yufei? Duan Muqing laughed and patted Zhao Feng's shoulder. He knew that this disciple of his had a very low EQ. Since you care about Yufei so much, then come with me to the Duanmu family, Duan Muqing said seriously. This matter involved the pride of the Duanmu family and the Imperials. It wasn't something that just anyone could say. I'll make some arrangements first. Zhao Feng left. Apart from Duan Muqing, no one else came or went within 100 miles of Zhao Feng's secret chamber. This was a forbidden ground. However, after leaving this area, Zhao Feng found that the sky was filled with people. The overall appearance of the Ocean Smoke Pavilion had changed a lot, and the number of experts had increased. While Zhao Feng was observing the Ocean Smoke Pavilion, these members were also inspecting Zhao Feng with surprise. Are there golden hair members in the Ocean Smoke Pavilion? I've never seen one before. His eyes are golden. Is he a non-human? But he's so handsome, a female member said with a dazed expression. At this moment, Bai Qingyue, who was surrounded by a hazy moonlight, quickly rushed over. Bai Qingyue sensed that Zhao Feng had come out of seclusion through the dark heart seal. It's the Pavilion Master. Greetings, Pavilion Master. All the members around him bowed in greeting. Bai Qingyue didn't bother with the greetings of the members. She stopped in front of Zhao Feng and was slightly surprised. The changes in Zhao Feng before and after entering seclusion were too big. The purple-haired Zhao Feng gave her a bewitching sense of beauty. The current Zhao Feng made her feel a tinge of warmth and maturity, making him even more charming. Greetings, Grand Elder, Bai Qingyue said respectfully. The surrounding members paused. Most of them had never seen the Grand Elder before, and a small number of them had only seen him once. However, there was no one who did not know about the Grand Elder. He had saved the Ocean Smoke Pavilion from the claws of Nine Darkness Palace, provided countless resources, and teamed up with the Ocean Smoke Pavilion, making the Ocean Smoke Pavilion stronger than ever. The Grand Elder's master was a sacred lord of the 8 big families. This legendary Grand Elder was only a youth in his teens. However, they had just witnessed the Ocean Smoke Pavilion's Pavilion Master address the golden-haired youth that they were surrounding as a supreme elder. That youth was the Grand Elder of the Ocean Smoke Pavilion. Oh my God, let's go to the conference pavilion, Zhao Feng said, and continued forward with Bai Qingyue following behind him. Chapter 9:13. Within the conference hall, Bai Qingyue, Emperor Withered Shadow, and Old Monster Su inspected Zhao Feng. Cough. I will be leaving the Ocean Smoke Pavilion for a long time. Zhao Feng dryly coughed. Every time the god I changed color, it was impossible for him to do anything about it. Master, are you going to the continent? All three of them were experts that had the Dark Heart seal planted in them, and they asked at the same time. They could guess what was going on as well. Their master's master had come all the way here to wait for Zhao Feng to come out of seclusion. That's right, Zhao Feng said confidently. The Ocean Smoke Pavilion has Old Monster Su, and Supreme Emperor Dark Knight will become a sacred lord soon. The Ocean Smoke Pavilion won't need to fear any force around the ocean anymore. In reality, the Ocean Smoke Pavilion had Duke Nanfeng protecting it. The 8 big families that Duanmu Qing was from could also threaten them. 9 Darkness Palace's main target was Zhao Feng, so they wouldn't do anything to the Ocean Smoke Pavilion. Master, don't worry. We will take care of the Ocean Smoke Pavilion. Bai Qingyue was extremely confident. Seeing that Old Monster Su wanted to say something, Zhao Feng said, Old Monster Su, I will remove my control over you once the 100 years are up. At that time, it will be up to you to decide whether you want to stay or leave. Thank you, Master. Old Monster Su's heart was filled with complex emotions. There was a desire to be free from Zhao Feng's control. However, with his rationality, he felt that following Zhao Feng was better than staying in the 10,000 Sacred Clan. Duanmu Qing had been waiting for a long time. Master, please wait. Zhao Feng floated over. Although his speed wasn't any slower than a Sacred Lord's, that was only if he used the lightning wings spatial flash continuously. Zhao Feng's normal flying speed wasn't as fast as a Sacred Lord's, let alone his stamina. Furthermore, the Duanmu family was too far away from the continent. Even if he used teleportation arrays most of the way, it would take at least half a year. Using the lightning wings flying technique all the time used up too much energy. If he used the lightning wings spatial flash as well, the time he would need to rest would probably be longer than flying. Master, use this. Zhao Feng waved his left hand, and a strangely constructed flying car appeared in front of him. Duanmu Qing was surprised. It was not difficult to see that this flying carriage was a product of the Heaven's legacy race. At the same time, he remembered that Zhao Feng was only a late-stage king, so his speed obviously wouldn't be able to keep up with the Mystic Light Realm Sacred Lord. However, flying treasures were just too rare, not to mention treasures that could reach the speed of a Sacred Lord. Duanmu Qing and Zhao Feng boarded the flying flaming chariot. Xiao. The flaming chariot pierced through the sky, leaving behind a trail of dazzling multicolored light, as if it was traveling on a rainbow. Good treasure. Its speed is close to that of a great emperor. Duanmu Qing praised. The two of them set off toward the continent zone. The first stop was Haili Province, which was closest to the sea. There were a total of 18 states in the Great Qian Dynasty, which were conferred by the 8 major families or the royal family. Each prefecture was further divided into many cities. However, every city on the continent was as large as one of the 3 great spirit zones of the Ash-Gray Sea. Meow. The little thieving cat was unwillingly called out by Zhao Feng. It obviously knew that Zhao Feng wanted it to be the driver of the flying chariot. On the other hand, when Zhao Feng saw the little thieving cat, he suddenly remembered that this was a cat of unknown origin. Information about the little thieving cat was still a top secret within the Heaven's Legacy City, and no one had the right to know it. Zhao Feng instinctively touched the golden ball in the dimension of his left eye and used his new ability. Wang, a faint golden ripple spread from Zhao Feng's eye and merged into the air. Meow meow. The little thieving cat immediately turned invisible and reappeared above Zhao Feng's head while meowing. Zhao Feng was speechless. The little thieving cat told Zhao Feng not to look at it with its yellow eyes. Looks like the little thieving cat is very scared of the ability of my left eye. Zhao Feng was both surprised and happy. He had finally found something that could counter the little thieving cat. This made Zhao Feng place more importance on this new ability. He needed to study it carefully. Meow meow. The little thieving cat gave Zhao Feng a pitiful look as it obediently drove the flying, flaming chariot. Duan Muqing smiled faintly as he looked at the weird interaction between Zhao Feng and the little thieving cat. I need to test out the ability of my left eye. Zhao Feng entered the misty spatial world and looked at one of the flowers. His consciousness touched the golden ball in the dimension of his left eye. Wang. A faint golden ripple spread from his left eye. In his field of vision, the flower instantly became a dense mass of golden light spots, innumerable. Zoom in, zoom in. Zhao Feng could clearly see the structure of one of the particles. A tiny particle was like a complex, strange, and majestic building. The misty spatial world's little world had its own laws, and everything within it was man-made. However, Zhao Feng's left eye could see through everything. He found that the structure of the flower's particles was loose, and there were fewer of them. Most importantly, the usage of these elemental particles was extremely messy. As I thought, even Mystic Light Realm, sacred lords, and demigods can't recreate everything in the real world. Zhao Feng understood. The difference between the materials in a little world and those in the real world was like the difference between a flower and a fake mountain. If I create a little world, would I be able to create a more realistic little world with the help of King Tong? I might even be able to create a real dimension. Zhao Feng's heart started to beat, and his blood started to boil. At the same time, his left eye started to beat. Even Zhao Feng felt that this idea was far too crazy, as if it were a fantasy. Creating a world and creating a real dimension was the domain of gods. Right now, he hadn't even formed a little world yet. Putting aside the unrealistic idea, Zhao Feng sunk into the world of particles once more. It seems to have the same principles as the divine light of destruction. Zhao Feng suddenly thought of the unique eye bloodline technique of the Golden Sun family in the Azure Flower Continent, the divine light of destruction. The principle of the divine light of destruction was to separate and analyze all kinds of attacks, including eye bloodline techniques, and reduce their power. The divine light of destruction that Zhao Feng had secretly learned contained his understanding of the intent of wind, and its main principle was to separate and slice. From the looks of it, the divine light of destruction separates the structure of a physical attack into large particles to reduce the power of an attack. Zhao Feng, who had a golden eye, instantly analyzed. The power of a complete attack would decrease dramatically if part of the structure of a true Yuan attack was lost. If I merge the new ability of my left eye into the divine light of destruction, will I be able to turn true Yuan attacks into particles? Break down all attacks into particles and destroy their structure. A light flashed through Zhao Feng's mind, and he became excited. Any form of matter, including souls, was made up of billions of particles. Since his left eye could see through the essence of everything, it could easily destroy the structure between particles. If this move was successful, it would be an eye bloodline technique that surpassed the divine light of destruction by several levels. Furthermore, only Zhao Feng could use it. With this thought, Zhao Feng entered the dimension of his left eye and started to simulate it. Luckily, he had secretly learned the intent of the divine light of destruction. Even now, the dimension of Zhao Feng's left eye still contained the information he had stolen from that day. On a certain day, a faint golden beam of light shot out from Zhao Feng's golden eye and landed on the rock in front of him. Crack! The rock instantly shattered into a pile of small stones. It can pierce through matter, and its ability to break down energy far surpasses the divine light of destruction, but it's not strong enough. Zhao Feng shook his head and sighed. His goal was to at least break down the rock into particles. Otherwise, how would he be able to break down true Yuan attacks? 1 month later, Zhao Feng walked in front of a large rock and took a deep breath. He circulated the power of his left eye, and an even brighter golden beam of light shot out and pierced through the center of the rock. Who? The part of the rock that was hit by the golden beam of light instantly disappeared, and a large hole appeared. It was as if this rock had always been like this, and there was no sign of it being man-made. Maybe some people with strong divine sense would be able to sense the countless tiny elemental particles floating in the air. It's basically formed. I just need to test it out. A faint smile appeared on Zhao Feng's face. After all, Zhao Feng had already analyzed the rocks in the misty spatial world thousands of times. Zhao Feng didn't even need to use his left eye to draw out the particle structure of the rocks. However, the particle structure of everything, including true yuan and souls, was completely different. This meant that if Zhao Feng wanted to separate the unknown, the speed and effect would be lower. Zhao Feng, Duan Muqing, woke up, Zhao Feng. I've arrived at another teleportation array. Zhao Feng walked out of the misty spatial world. The Great Gan Lore dynasty was extremely big, and no province teleportation arrays had appeared yet. However, it was said that the array masters of the Imperials were already thinking about it. There were only a few teleportation arrays in each province, and they were located in the busiest areas of the most prosperous cities. Not everyone had the right to use the intercity teleportation formation. Zhao Feng looked into the distance. Something's not right, Zhao Feng said. Zhao Feng put away the flaming chariot and walked toward the Grand Palace with Duan Muqing. The teleportation array has malfunctioned and is currently being repaired. You can't enter right now. Outside the palace, two golden-robed generals with half-step king cultivation base looked at the white-haired, golden-haired man and blocked his path. The master and disciple looked at each other and made a decision. They would rest here for a while. Please wait. At this moment, an elder flew out from the palace. Sacred Lord Duanmu, the teleportation array will be ready soon. You can go in and have a seat. The elder looked at Duan Muqing with a respectful smile. Duan Muqing had used the teleportation array here more than half a year ago. The elder had recorded all of this. The expressions of the two golden-robed generals changed, and cold sweat appeared on their bodies. They didn't know that this white-haired male was actually a sacred lord. Furthermore, he was from one of the 8 big families. And, since it could be repaired soon, they might as well wait. There were also 2 groups of people waiting within the palace. One group had 6 people, 3 elders, 2 youths, and 1 girl. All of them had purple hair. A sacred lord of the Duanmu family? One of them, an old man with white hair and purple hair, looked at Duan Muqing from afar. His eyes were like deep stars. On the other hand, the beautiful purple-haired girl stared at Zhao Feng. You're Zhao Feng. Wariness flashed through the purple-haired girl's eyes as she exclaimed after a long time. Chapter 9:14. You're Zhao Feng. Wariness flashed through the purple-haired girl's eyes as she exclaimed. All the gazes in the hall immediately focused on Zhao Feng, their faces filled with suspicion. Zhao Feng was the biggest winner of the divine illusion dimension and the leader of the purple-haired demonic duo. There were many mysterious rumors surrounding this youth. Even the older generation felt that those rumors were exaggerated. Everyone knew that Zhao Feng was the leader of the purple-haired demonic duo, but this youth had golden hair and golden eyes. Jilan, is he really Zhao Feng? A short-haired male next to Jilan asked with furrowed eyebrows. After Jilan returned to the Ji family, she had told the elders about Zhao Feng's eye bloodline. Therefore, both the younger and older generations of the Ji family wanted to see Zhao Feng's eye bloodline. Apart from the descendants of the 8 great god eyes, the eye bloodline of the Ji family stood at the peak of the Lore dynasty. He's Zhao Feng. Jilan was very sure that she had suffered the backlash of Zhao Feng's god's spiritual eye in the divine illusion dimension and witnessed the powerful abilities of Zhao Feng's eye bloodline. Zhao Feng's image was deeply engraved in her heart. How could she not recognize him? However, it was all thanks to Zhao Feng that Jilan was defeated in her area of expertise. Jilan's personality changed dramatically after returning to the family, and she started to study the Ji family's eye bloodline techniques, making her purple star eyes even purer. "Don't think that you can get rid of your bad reputation just because you dyed your hair," Jilon murmured. The atmosphere became slightly awkward. The other force within the hall was only the city lord of this city, and they weren't on the same level as the 8 big families. At this moment, they didn't even dare to breathe loudly. Duan Muqing greets Sacred Lord Star Demon of the Ji family. Duan Muqing gave a faint smile and bowed. He had heard of what Zhao Feng did in the Divine Illusion dimension, and Zhao Feng had probably taken a treasure from the Ji family. Sacred Lord Star Demon was an extremely old Grand Elder of the Ji family, and his eye bloodline had reached the peak of perfection. "I heard that the Duanmu family has a new Sacred Lord. It's you, right?" The aged voice of the pale, purple-haired old man echoed in the void. The people from the City Lord's faction and the old man guarding the teleportation formation were startled. They felt as if the world had changed, and they were in a daze. This was the first time that the Ji clan's Grand Elder had spoken. He didn't open his mouth, but his words pierced through one's soul, causing one to hallucinate. Even Zhao Feng was extremely cautious as he looked at Sacred Lord Star Demon. The latter's mastery of the soul and eye bloodline techniques wasn't simple. Buzz. When Zhao Feng met Sacred Lord Star Demon's faint purple eyes, he felt as if he was in a world of stars. Countless stars were burning with black flames that covered the sky as they smashed down. Zhao Feng's left eye flashed with a faint golden light, and everything returned to normal. Very powerful. He didn't even use his eye prowess, but just a single glance was enough to make me fall into an illusion. Zhao Feng's heart jumped. This was the strongest eye bloodline he had ever seen. From the looks of it, this elder's cultivation surpassed normal Sacred Lords. Sacred Lord Star Demon's expression changed slightly as he looked at Zhao Feng. Duan Muqing explained humbly, "I was lucky. It was all thanks to the disciples of the Duanmu family. I managed to break through in the Divine Illusion dimension." Although they were both early-stage Sacred Lords, Sacred Lord Star Demon had lived for at least 40,000 years, and his strength couldn't be measured by cultivation. "This is my disciple." Duan Muqing introduced Zhao Feng as someone from one of the 8 big families, but he didn't say that he was Zhao Feng. Those from the Ji family paused and became even more suspicious of this golden-haired youth's identity. The purple-haired demonic duo seemed to come from outside the Tsang Ocean, so they shouldn't be related to the Duanmu family. Jilon, on the other hand, seemed to have understood something. She remembered that the purple-haired demonic duo didn't steal anything from the Duanmu family in the Divine Illusion dimension, which made the other forces suspicious. Furthermore, Zhao Feng seemed to have a complicated relationship with Zhao Yufei. "This is my 3rd disciple." Lord Star Demon revealed a faint smile. His meaning was very obvious. "Sacred Lord Duanmu, I can see that your disciple has an eye bloodline, so he's definitely not simple. This junior is very curious and wants to spar with him." The short-haired male from the Ji family stepped forward, and his eyes flashed with purple-blue light. "Master, let this disciple try." Zhao Feng stepped forward before Duan Muqing could say anything. Zhao Feng had been studying the disintegration ability of his golden eye within the misty spatial world. He had already disintegrated countless trees and flowers, and he wanted to try it out in real combat. Seeing Zhao Feng accept the challenge, the other 2 elders of the Ji family laughed coldly in their hearts. Ji Wuye's purple star eyes were unrivaled amongst the younger generation, apart from the geniuses of the Ji family from the previous generation. No one could surpass Ji Wuye in terms of eye bloodline techniques. "Hee, Big Brother Wuye's eyes and mutated purple star eyes." An even younger youth next to Ji Lan said with a smile. In his heart, Ji Wuye was his role model. The purple star eyes specialized in the Tao of illusion and soul attacks, and Ji Wuye's mutated purple star eyes could even add physical attacks to it. Jilan's gaze was locked onto Zhao Feng. This mysterious youth had a calm and solemn expression. No one could tell what he was thinking, and he was shrouded in mist. Even she couldn't see through Zhao Feng's cultivation. Jilan didn't think that Ji Wuye would be able to gain an advantage against Zhao Feng. This one is Ji Wuye. The short-haired male couldn't hide the arrogance on his face as he gave his name. Please, Zhao Feng said. His faint golden hair moved without any wind, and a golden sacred light flowed in his left eye. Ji Wuye's expression became grim. He gave his name because he hoped that Zhao Feng would give his name as well. To Ji Wuye, Zhao Feng's act of not announcing his name was a humiliation. Okay. Ji Wuye's expression paused for a moment, and a dreamy purple and blue starlight appeared in his eyes as a surge of soul aura spread. Falling star, an even stronger eye bloodline power shot out from Ji Wuye's eyes like a torrential purple and blue flame. Boom, boom. In the soul dimension, countless stars burning with purple and blue flames covered the sky and crashed toward Zhao Feng. Their aura was so strong that it could shatter one's mind and make one unable to fight back. At the same time, a chain burning with purple and blue flames wrapped around Zhao Feng's soul. It was as if his soul was going to shatter when the purple and blue flames smashed into him. Disintegrate. Zhao Feng's expression didn't change as his faint golden hair blew in the wind. A powerful surge of eye intent spread from his left eye. What powerful eye intent! Ji Wuye's expression changed slightly as he stopped underestimating Zhao Feng. This eye intent wasn't any weaker than his. Apart from Sacred Lord Star Demon, the eye bloodlines of everyone from the Ji family shook. He's already grown to such a level. Jilan was dazed and in disbelief. Wang, a faint golden beam of light shot out from his left eye and pierced through the purple and blue flames in the sky. A physical attack? Ji Wuye was dazed. It was common knowledge that physical attacks and soul attacks couldn't affect each other. Someone was using a physical attack to block a soul attack. Was this golden-haired youth an idiot? Ji Wuye couldn't help but snicker. From the looks of it, this person wasn't Zhao Feng. Everyone present felt that something was wrong as well. Zhao Feng had clearly released an abnormal surge of eye bloodline power, but his eye bloodline technique had passed through Ji Wuye's attack. Wait, what's that? The eyes of the youth from the Ji family bulged as he exclaimed. The flaming stars that were pierced by the faint golden beam of light started to slowly disappear. Ji Wuye's soul attack disappeared just like that without any collision of soul power. Even the damage on the physical level had strangely disappeared. Everyone at the scene held their breaths as they carefully sensed the strange scene before them. How is this possible? My soul intent and eye intent have all disappeared as well. Fear flashed through Ji Wuye's eyes. He couldn't believe that there was such a weird eye bloodline technique. Duan Muqing didn't specialize in the soul, so he also felt that this scene was unbelievable. Sacred Lord Star Demon's faint purple eyes flashed with faint purple light as he looked at the place where their soul attacks collided. Sii. A piercing pain came from Zhao Feng's left eye. Ji Wuye's soul attack also contained physical damage, so it was extremely difficult to disintegrate it and expended a lot of eye bloodline power. Furthermore, this was the first time that Zhao Feng had used it in battle. As expected, disintegrating flowers and stones wasn't on the same level as disintegrating a soul attack. The particles contained within a soul attack were several thousand times more than the flowers and stones in a little world. A surge of precious and complicated information was instantly stored in the golden ball in the dimension of his left eye. The piercing pain became stronger and stronger, and Zhao Feng had to stop disintegrating and close his left eye. That golden-haired youth has stopped his eye bloodline technique. Only a portion of Ji Wuye's soul attack disappeared. The rest of the flaming stars continued toward Zhao Feng. On the other hand, Zhao Feng stood still with his eyes closed. What does he want to do? Jilan's emotions were extremely complicated. This youth was always unfathomable. Boom, boom, boom. In an instant, all the flaming stars landed on Zhao Feng's soul intent. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. A wave of lightning suddenly spread through Zhao Feng's purple soul. All the soul attacks were destroyed by the power of God Tribulation Lightning, including the chains that bound him. Everything returned to normal within the hall. and Zhao Feng and Ji Wuye were still standing there. Zhao Feng suddenly opened his golden left eye and looked at Ji Wuye. Hiss! Ji Wuye shuddered. He had a feeling that his entire body, including his spirit, was being controlled by the other party. It was as if there was an eye in his body that was spying on him. Ji Wuye admits defeat. Ji Wuye bowed and retreated. Although he didn't know why his soul attack had disappeared into thin air, he knew that his soul attack had disappeared into thin air. But in the end, Zhao Feng's soul released tiny lightning bolts, which made him realize that he was no match for this youngster. This golden-haired youth's soul and eye bloodline techniques were unfathomable. Jilan smiled helplessly. She couldn't even understand Zhao Feng's eye technique. Sacred Lord Duanmu, you've taken in a good disciple. The stars in Sacred Lord Star Demon's eyes started to fade as he spoke with a faint smile. Little friend, would you be willing to come to the Ji family as a guest if you have the time? The Ji family's eye bloodline collection and secret techniques are one of the best in the Great Gon Lord dynasty. Sacred Lord Star Demon didn't hide his intention to recruit him. Among the 8 great families, the Ji family was far stronger than the Duanmu family. The elder guarding the teleportation array and the forces of the city, Lord looked at Zhao Feng with envy. Thank you, Sacred Lord Star Demon. This junior will definitely go and learn from you if I have a chance. Zhao Feng's expression returned to normal as he gave a warm smile. Sacred Lord Star Demon is going to the Great Gon Imperials? Duanmu Qing asked. Chapter 9:15. Mystic Light Realm, Sacred Lords of any force wouldn't casually appear in the outside world, not to mention the supreme elders of the 8 great clans. Furthermore, there were 3 young disciples of the Ji family next to Sacred Lord Star Demon, and they were all extremely talented. I'm bringing the juniors to the palace to broaden their horizons. I wonder why Sacred Lord Duanmu is here? Sacred Lord Star Demon's expression remained the same as he gave a vague reply. The Duanmu clan resided in the northeast, and it was only 1 prefecture away from the imperial capital. As for Duanmu Qing, he appeared at the southern border. Since he came all the way here, it must be something important. I have some urgent matters to attend to. I have no choice but to leave the clan. Duanmu Qing answered vaguely as well. His answer did not displease anyone. However, everyone from the Ji family subconsciously looked at the golden-haired, golden-eyed youth. Zhao Feng was originally the left-eyed heavenly emperor, but he possessed a disciple of the 10,000 sacred clan and was reborn. This place wasn't far from the 10,000 sacred clan. Adding on Jilan's confirmation, the golden-haired youth's mysterious eye bloodline had never appeared in the Duanmu family before. The golden-haired youth's identity was very close to Zhao Feng's. At this moment, Duanmu Qing traveled a long distance to the border to bring Zhao Feng back to the Duanmu clan. The reason was self-evident: the struggle for the crown prince position. With Zhao Feng's performance in the divine illusion dimension, even the top-tier eye bloodline families couldn't see through his mysterious eye bloodline technique. He would definitely be able to obtain another spot for the Duanmu family. Sacred Lord Duanmu, the teleportation array has been repaired. I'll be leaving first. The members of the Ji clan bade farewell to Duanmu Qing. In fact, the cross-city teleportation array had already been repaired. However, no one dared to interrupt the conversation between the 2 sacred lords of the 8 big families. Supreme Elder, what was that technique that Zhao Feng used just now? Ji Wuye couldn't help but ask after leaving. At the same time, the other 2 elders and 2 youngsters of the Ji family immediately put on a look of listening attentively. From their point of view, only Sacred Lord Star Demon could tell them the answer. Sacred Lord Star Demon's mastery of the Purple Star Eyes had reached the peak. He kept trying to combine the Purple Star Eyes with other eye bloodline techniques to develop eye bloodline techniques that were suitable for the Purple Star Eyes. He contributed many new and powerful eye bloodline techniques to the Ji family. Therefore, although Sacred Lord Star Demon's cultivation wasn't high, his eye bloodline techniques were extremely terrifying. Disintegrate. Sacred Lord Star Demon only said 2 words. Decompose. The other 5 were confused. Before Zhao Feng used the secret technique, he had also said the same word. Supreme Elder, I know of an eye bloodline technique that can neutralize attacks. It's an eye bloodline technique that reduces the damage of an attack. It's completely different from the eye bloodline technique that Zhao Feng used. Ji Wuye couldn't figure out what these 2 words meant, but he had seen similar eye bloodline techniques before. That Junior's eye bloodline technique is similar to a deciphering eye bloodline technique. Sacred Lord Star Demon thought for a moment before speaking slowly. Breaking through eye bloodline techniques requires finding the key points of the offensive intent and destroying them to reduce their power. You can understand the theory behind that Junior's eye bloodline technique as breaking down the key points of the offensive intent completely. After listening to the Grand Elder's explanation, everyone from the G family was dumbfounded. They all knew that deciphering eye bloodline techniques used up a lot of energy and had very little damage. Therefore, only those with special eye bloodlines would often use this technique to increase its effectiveness. However, what the Grand Elder said was to break down all the key points of the offensive intent. Breaking down and breaking down weren't on the same level. It was just like how it was extremely easy to break a wall, but it was very troublesome to keep the bricks that made up the wall intact. One had to reach such a level. How strong would one's soul and eye bloodline power be? It was no wonder Zhao Feng had stopped halfway through. That's just my conservative thinking. Sacred Lord Star Demon's eyes seemed to fall into deep thought as he spoke slowly. Everyone instantly became silent. They were experts in eye bloodline techniques, so they obviously knew that the Grand Elder was speaking the truth. After sending off the members of the Ji family, Duan Muqing and Zhao Feng also stepped into the teleportation array. Only after the 2 sacred lords left did everyone in the hall let out a breath. Who is that golden-haired youth? How did he make a genius of the Ji clan admit defeat in one move? A youth from the City Lord's forces was stunned. After teleporting to a nearby city, the master and disciple sat on the flaming chariot and charged into the sky once more. Zhao Feng, is this the ability of your god's eye? Duan Muqing revealed a surprised expression. He couldn't tell what the theory behind Zhao Feng's eye bloodline technique was. The mutation to my left, I only increased my vision and analytical abilities. The eye bloodline technique just now was a new eye bloodline technique that I created by combining my other eye bloodline techniques with my supportive abilities. Zhao Feng immediately explained. He told the truth about the god's spiritual eye's new ability and the origin of this eye bloodline technique. Looks like we misunderstood it. Duan Muqing tried to look at it from a different perspective. Zhao Feng's eye bloodline technique wasn't as terrifying as he had imagined. Zhao Feng had only made a portion of the soul attack disappear, and it expended a lot of energy. It didn't seem like it had any offensive abilities. However, they didn't understand the theory behind it, which was why it was so mysterious. After all, humans were fearful of the unknown. The master and disciple chatted for a bit before Zhao Feng entered the misty spatial world once more. This actual combat had given him a lot of insights. Disintegrating Ji Wuye's soul attack was on a completely different level compared to disintegrating flowers and stones. His soul attack also contained physical damage. Zhao Feng's left, I instantly received a large amount of unknown information, which was why he felt a piercing pain and had to stop. In other words, once Zhao Feng digested the information, he would be able to easily disintegrate Ji Wuye's next attack. Zhao Feng also suppressed his soul intent to the same level as Ji Wuye and started experimenting. Sacred Lord Star Demon could definitely tell this. However, Sacred Lord Star Demon was only interested in Zhao Feng's eye bloodline from the start. Zhao Feng didn't mind this. Even the thieving cat was scared of the god's eye's new ability. From this, one could see that it wasn't simple. Every time I disintegrate it, the information I obtain will be stored in the golden ball, and I can look at it whenever I want. It won't be like before, where I had to use my left eye to copy and absorb it. Zhao Feng was very satisfied with this. The structure of every particle has something in common, and each particle has its own element. As he disintegrated more and more particles, Zhao Feng would be able to comprehend something after a long time of observation. Zhao Feng guessed that if he could completely understand this information, his efficiency at disintegrating anything in the future would increase dramatically. Every particle has its own element, and it doesn't just consist of metal, wood, water, fire, and earth. Zhao Feng was attracted by this world, and he started to immerse himself in the misty, spatial world. More than a dozen days passed. Zhao Feng had a basic understanding of the structure of particles. A sacred lord's physical body, soul, and mystic light's sacred power are highly fused together. Their defense and recovery abilities are extremely strong. If I can separate these three powers, Zhao Feng thought to himself, if he could separate the mystic light's sacred power from the physical body, soul, and soul of a sacred lord, the advantage of a sacred lord would decrease by a lot. This was just Zhao Feng's idea. He didn't dare to test it out, so he wasn't sure. Furthermore, Zhao Feng didn't have the ability to disintegrate a large area right now. If the area of disintegration increased, the pressure and burden he had to bear would increase. However, what was certain was that Zhao Feng's disintegration ability could ignore the defense of a sacred lord and directly disintegrate the sacred body. Since a sacred lord hadn't cultivated the knowledge of particles before, he couldn't repair them. He could only rely on the recovery abilities of his sacred body. This meant that this was another trump card that could threaten a sacred lord. The more I look into it, the more I feel that the Golden God's Eye's ability is different. It seems like I can continue to dig deeper. Zhao Feng sunk into the microscopic world hungrily. Right now, understanding was the most important thing. Half a year passed in the blink of an eye. During this period of time, Zhao Feng didn't cultivate anything else. Using the golden, I used too much soul intent and eye bloodline power. If Zhao Feng wanted to learn the secrets, he needed to focus even more. Therefore, he didn't circulate the 10,000 divine thoughts technique to distract himself. Furthermore, Zhao Feng's cultivation, the golden Kuan sacred lightning body, and the 5 elemental wind lightning technique had just broken through not long ago, so he needed time to consolidate his foundation. Zhao Feng, the Duanmu family is almost there. Duanmu Qing's voice sounded. Zhao Feng walked out of the misty spatial world and looked at the beautiful buildings in front of him. There was a clear stream, and birds chirped. It was like a paradise. The Duanmu family was located in the center of the basin, and it was surrounded by short mountains. The only way out was through a stream that was dozens of yards wide. Elder Qing, who is this brat? 5 elders of the Duanmu family floated above the stream at the entrance of the Duanmu family. They had been waiting for a long time. This is my disciple, Duanmu Qing replied, and the aura of a sacred lord spread. A horrifying aura pressed down on the surrounding space. Duanmu Qing looked down at the 5 martial emperors like a deity. He exuded might without being angry. The 5 elders were all emperors, but they acted as if they were questioning Duanmu Qing, who was a sacred lord. There was obviously a sacred lord-level grand elder behind the scenes. Elder Qing, calm down. We're not here to make things difficult for you. An elder in green robes who was slightly weaker immediately gave in under Duanmu Qing's sacred lord-level aura and acted like he was wronged. Elder Qing, Zhao Feng is one of the purple-haired demonic duo and has a bad reputation. It's not suitable for him to join the Duanmu family. Zhao Feng has offended too many forces in the divine illusion dimension. Now that the Duanmu family is on the rise, we can't ruin their reputation. Duanmu Qing's expression changed slightly as the elders tried to persuade him. After all, Duanmu Qing was a member of the Duanmu family, and he also hoped that the Duanmu family could regain its former glory. However, he knew what kind of person his disciple was. Stealing resources and treasures in the divine illusion dimension was normal. Had the 3-star superpowers never bullied 2-star forces before? The strong were respected, and the weak were eliminated. However, those experts who thought that they were infallible lost to the weak and they felt like they had lost face. That was why they used a bad reputation to regain their face. Elders, this isn't the real reason, right? Duan Muqing's expression slowly returned to normal as he spoke calmly. The elders instantly stopped and lowered their heads, not trying to persuade him anymore. This indeed wasn't the real reason. Suddenly, a dazzling green light shot out from the Duanmu clan. It shrouded the surroundings with boundless might as it headed straight for Duanmu Qing. This is the real reason. The ancient and sonorous voice was like a sound wave, and its power was monstrous. You're tuning in to the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.